Hello and welcome everybody to Fight Night Rift, brought to you by GiantSlayer, the kickoff to the 2022 season 1 of Wild Rift. Not technically, but this is the first event that we have of the year. We got everybody's favorite Florida man with me on the desk. I'm rocking the Minnesota flannel and the state behind me, even though I'm in California right now. Alk, you ready for some Wild Rift action tonight?
Hell yeah, brother. Let's bring it. I want to see some good teams. I want to see some fun play. Look, it's the beginning of the year. Everybody's got to shake off all the holidays. We're coming off of the New Year's. All the kids have been coming home. They're fattened up after being with their parents and their loved ones. Now it's time to game. It's time to sit down, get on that phone, and win some money.
New Year's resolutions, man. Win NA this year. I'm sure that's on a lot of players' minds right now.
Please.
Because if you didn't watch a Riot announcement, we got more Wild Rift action coming throughout the year, and I'm sure that there's a lot of scouts that will now be watching events just like this. So let's get into the event, Alk. What are we watching today? We got a couple teams competing for Fight Night Rift for a total prize pool of $1,000. You can see the breakdown right there. We'll have 4 teams going through a single round robin, and then the top 2 going to the finals for a best of 5. Alk, I mean, it's fun. It's exciting. We remember the format from last time, but let's take a look at the teams that we'll actually have competing this time around with the schedule itself, because we got a couple new additions. They're not all the same returning teams from our holiday event in December.
Exactly, and that's one of the fantastic things. If you want to go and sign up, you can go ahead and put ! sign up in the chat. You're going to get sent to the GiantSlayer TV Wild Rift link, and you can just sign up for the next time this happens. It's going to be every 2 weeks, and you could be one of these teams: Tribe Gaming, Cloud9, Suzaku, and Dogwater Gaming. This could be you. You put your face, you put your little name on there. This could be you playing in this tournament.
Or if you're Dogwater, you can just put DWG. That logo instead of an image.
True.
Hey, not everybody's got a graphic design background or budget for that one. But Tribe Gaming, the only returning member from the holiday special. Now we get Cloud9 coming in here, and you can see on today's schedule, we'll be watching all of Cloud9's games. This ensures that we can see at least every team on stream once. It's the only way to do it, so this time we chose Cloud9 to follow through, which is still exciting because of their new roster that we just found out about. But their first match will, of course, be against Tribe Gaming to start things off. Then Suzaku GG and Dogwater Gaming to round out the day. Whoever the top 2 after this round robin will move on to the grand finals best of 5. And maybe we'll have to do a tiebreaker as well. We didn't have to last time, but there is always a chance that there could be a tiebreaker scenario. So we might get some extra action.
Well, tiebreakers are decided by fastest game time. So hopefully we'll just avoid that whole situation, and we can just go right in grand finals. We don't got to worry about it. There's like one cursed universe where everybody's like 1-1-1, and then like we'll let the admins handle that. That's not my job. That's not your job either, Kangas. We just say,
my job is to lie to you on broadcast and tell you how things aren't going to go. But what I can say is the first matchup of the day, Tribe Gaming versus Cloud9. Now, Tribe did take the entire event last time. Dienzio, that was the big story, the kind of roster change for Tribe coming into this new season. I think Dienzio looks great with the team, but that's a new name over on Cloud9 too, Alk.
Yes, everybody at home, there's no more Tarzan, at least for this event. We don't know if this is a permanent change or not, but Yikes left Immortals and is now going to be on this Cloud9 team, rocking a little bit different color in terms of the blues. But this is a really fun name, especially if you were coming off a Summoner series. Everybody had eyes on Yikes. You even got to cast the event in a solo tournament over in Las Vegas, and this guy was
fun one.
That guy was smurfing it. And in every tournament since, Code Red has just been, I mean, all eyes on Yikes. So I'm excited to see his growth and development now on a similarly big org like Cloud9.
Cloud9 has to be very excited for this acquisition here. Again, we don't know if it's permanent or if it's just for this event, but either way, getting a chance to play with Yikes. Top 2 finisher in the Summoner Series that summer, almost went to the Horizon Cup, was one of the only teams, actually the only team to take a game off of Tribe in that championship run. So yeah, Yikes, pretty hyped up player, but going up against Tribe here. I mean, what do we think the odds are, Alk? Is this going to push Cloud9 into competitive contention? Because at the end of the year, Cloud9 as an org was not really making that push for top 3 like they had been at the beginning.
No, we saw Immortals actually have been making the push recently. Yep. They've been the top dogs alongside Tribe. And if we're talking about just historical record, Tribe have absolutely slaughtered Cloud9 every time they've met. Now, again, new pieces here, and it is a new year, so maybe one of their New Year's resolution is to win a series versus Tribe. We take those. And I think it's going to take a lot of the other members stepping up, which I know we weren't able to talk about last time, but Old School's also on this roster. One of the changed players from Tribe is now here with Selma. I think this should add a really fun dynamic. We've looked, I mean, I've been watching these guys play solo queue. They're pretty good. They're still pretty good. Selma is still looking pretty sick with it, but across from them, they've got Dienzio and Max Green, which is yikes.
So the cool thing about this narrative is it is Old School against his old org, so that's already exciting there, and then also Yikes against the team that knocked him out of going to the Horizon Cup. So a little bit of a grudge match potentially. I mean, obviously we don't know if the players take it that seriously, but it's exciting stuff either way. We're getting ready to hop into pick and ban here, Alk. So what we knew about Cloud9 before, especially with Tarzan, aggressive junglers and a carry jungle focus here. They find themselves on the red side. With Yikes now on the roster, is this going to change, kind of from our perspective, change their game plan?
I mean, maybe Yikes is a better Jarvan player than Tarzan. I wasn't the biggest fan of him on Jarvan, but we're talking about carry junglers. His Graves looks awesome still. Lee Sin is still, I think, top prio here. So if we're talking about red side, there are so many different options that Cloud9 can play for. I think really early on we'll see what the priority is for the Baron lane, because Chuck and Zello, they can hold it down, but I'm expecting some really heavy bruiser play. So now that we have our 10 bans here, I wonder if Renekton, Darius, these are champions that I expect for both of these guys to reach for.
Okay, so still focus on the top half. And yes, again, an update in case you didn't catch our event back in December or any other competitive events happening at the end of the year. 5 bans now, and Wild Rift, that does change up how teams need to approach pick and ban. So far, we see the Exshot and the Oriana ban from Tribe Gaming Cloud9, focusing on supports with the newer addition in Morgana, and also Kale was added to the game recently as well with the Thresh. Zig's taken off the table too here. Okay, so does Cloud9 triple down on these support bans? Do they just say, Max Green, you're not going to play the game?
Have you seen this guy's Twitter? This guy's popping off on Twitter. He's just spamming support highlight after support highlight. Doesn't matter if it's Rakan, whatever. Oh, we're playing Galio as well. Thresh, he looks sick on all of them. So I'm kind of expecting this right now. What I'm really interested in here is Tribe's bans, which we can come back to later. But I think it's really interesting what they're going for here and how they're going to attack it. I wonder if they're going to set up starting for some kind of really awesome pick later on.
Well, they got the Camille as their blue 1 pick, so really prioritizing presumably what will be that Baron lane. Camille, ever since the changes, has not been seeing a lot of jungle play, so still technically flexible, but what does Cloud9 want to answer into that one? You said a lot of those jungle picks for themselves already, but not actually opting for a jungler yet. It's a Jace and the Galio instead.
Oh, hey-oh, okay, so everybody at home, yeah, we get the switcheroo. Happens, you know? Look, Tribe, we were just talking about Max Green. I actually just totally brain drafted this one. We were like, oh, Max Green on Galio? There you go, we get it delivered. And we get Jace! I think it's the first time you've got to, it might have been the second time, because I do remember on the holiday special, we did get to see one really good Jace, and I think it was Jace Jungle, but this is going to be a lot of fun, because I'm still super hyped up on Jace, solo queue-wise. He's been not very fun to play against, and hopefully we get to see a little bit of that from starting here.
Yeah, Jace is one of those champions added to the game where if you just play a lot of MOBAs, especially League PC, you can definitely abuse people that don't understand the trading patterns and what he does. But with that Jax locked in, there's still flexibility. Where are they going to go? Who's taking the solo lane? Who's taking that jungle position? But Cloud9, we have a better idea because Olaf typically is going into that jungle role, and then presumably that Gragas in the support position here. Because again, bot lane was the focus from Tribe, and now all 4 of their bans here so far heavily shutting down Old School and Selma.
You have to think, I mean, Dienzio on Senna already looks disgusting. Max Green on Senna is also really interesting. So what do Cloud9 want to take away here? They want to get rid of more mages. You see how heavily they're focused in on physical damage here from Tribe. I think if you're Cloud9, you're going to need a little bit more damage. You have a lot of bruisers over here. Like, yeah, Gragas can flex over into AP, but as a support, Gold's not going to really be on your side. Yeah. And Camille has some true damage, but it's in bursts. So for Tribe Gaming, I want them to be able to focus down on this bot lane, and hopefully they get themselves a really strong mage somewhere in this draft.
Tribe, I mean, this is saying just flipping the bird to Old School right now. It's like, hey, you're off the team, and now we're not going to give you a single champion that you want to play here. All of the priority bot laners banned away, and I would expect Tribe to pick one here if they want to even further diminish that pool and then save their counter pick till the very end. Because Galio still flexible for them. So, I mean, the 80 carry pool, I don't even know like what's left that's really heavily in the meta right now. I guess, okay, it's going to be
Ooh.
Jhin.
Okay, I was wondering if you were going to see either Ezreal or Jhin. Dienzio's obviously been favoring Jhin so recently. And for old school, I think they really want to focus their bot lane into getting a Xayah or Khan matchup. You see that they got rid of all of these other 80 carries, and I think the next one up would be that. But Kai'Sa, someone who hasn't really seen a lot of love recently and will probably get range disadvantage and not have a lot of fun in this matchup, is going to be the pick here for Cloud9 alongside Diana.
Okay, so there's your AP. I mean, you were asking for it, and it was delivered. Kai'Sa can deal a little bit, but Diana especially. And that means Darius locked in for Tribe. So that means mid lane Jace, I guess?
Yes. Yes, it's mid lane Jace.
Okay.
This guy has been spamming it. Solo queue, if you go to his stream, if you go over to his YouTube channel, he's like, why is this champ... I think his last YouTube video on his channel was, why is this champ even balanced this way, XD, and just like keep spamming a bunch of XDs on the YouTube channel. It's great. He was straight up abusing a melee matchup. It was Katarina, but I wonder if he's going to try and do this again against Meals. This is another melee matchup. Jace can have a little bit more fun. However, Diana's more resilient, I think, than some of the other champions in her class.
Yeah, has a little bit of all-in potential. Another note that I have for Tribe Gaming's composition here, all physical damage. I mean, we said that about Cloud9. They did not feel the need to draft AP. Partly, I would guess, because Cloud9 don't really have a dedicated frontline tank. Like, Gragas maybe could build for it, but still, support won't have as much gold as the solo lane Gragas would. And then the Olaf would be that next biggest frontliner here. So I don't even know if Tribe will necessarily get punished for it.
Yeah, the thing that I will push back on for Tribe is, obviously, like you said, it's a lot of physical damage. This usually works if the enemy team doesn't have a lot of bruisers or a lot of people who can itemize into something like a stone plate. However, Cloud9 have up to 3 members who could potentially go stone plate. More likely that we're going to see 2 of them. So for Cloud9, it's very easy to just pick up plated steel caps and, you know, you get yourself that stone plate, and it's very hard for Tribe to burst you down or find any kind of kills.
Well, let's see what their approach is for that problem right now. Jungler starting on the opposite sides of the map as we're loaded onto the Rift for game 1 of your fight night. And we do actually have confirmation as well. This is still just Yikes subbing in for this tournament, but it's still exciting to look at this because this is going to be a different look for Cloud9. Even if this isn't going to be like a big roster swap going into the new season, we still get to see a new look. And maybe that's what we need to finally have somebody bring competition to Tribe who still have yet to be challenged.
Look at this guy starting again. He's just abusing Jace early game. Ignites down. Meals, a lot of good patience there, not even using the barrier, but this is exactly what we expect when we're talking about starting in the mid lane on these melee champions. They're just so harass heavy.
Yeah, heavily beating down Meals, and props to Meals there for not popping barrier or flash, you know, keeping a calm head. So that means Stardy doesn't get the kill, is down Ignite. Maybe there's a chance that this comes back to bite him, but as Yikes will show in that mid lane there, I don't expect Starting to actually be in any kind of trouble.
Especially now that the wave is coming back, I would have expected that, you know, T-Tigers would have came down into mid lane, fixed this wave so that Josh can pick up a kind of a back timer here. Now that Yikes is here, it's just going to even out the wave state. It's not much doing, right? You forced an early recall. He was able to pick up the Catalyst of Ions really early, but I mean, really all this means, we're taking a look, Kangas, Tribe, they're going to send recalls back to base, and 2 minutes in, small advantages here for Tribe.
Everybody resetting at the same time, essentially, except for Dienzio, who's still sticking around in this bottom lane. And yeah, at the end of the day, Serrated Dirt completed for Starting. I expect to just see more of the same. Just keep trying to punish this Diana every single time she walks up to CS.
It's so important also. This is one of the things coming back from the bans that we saw in draft, why Orianna is gone. Because we've already seen that Dienzio can play Orianna, and having a mage that's available to you that you can play in bot lane alongside something like a Ziggs is probably why they were leaning towards this side of the draft, right? We're getting rid of those mages makes it that much harder for Tribe to keep their options open when it comes to flexible damage types.
Again, trading there from Starting. I was holding my breath, thinking maybe he would go.
You
for
saw
it
the
all
flink that you saw the health bars getting whittled away. You're like,
again, Shock Blast misses though. Meals had good sidestep there, still has the barrier, but Yeah, I mean, I going into that deeper champ pool for D'Anzio could be a answer going into next games, but already here, gank in the mid lane, starting for that early lead he got. Gets punished and gives up first blood.
Oh
but not to be
my!
outdone. Top lane, flash is expended.
Oh, he tries to block the hook shot. Almost is able to find that kill, but just a small level lead here. That is a really important kill for Cloud9 to find, not only as they want to make sure that this early game is not going awry for them, but also punishing starting for his aggressive tendencies. We're seeing it time and time again. He's just willing to fight constantly, which is something you need to do on Jace, especially since the poke build is not as prominent here. And so really, when you're doing it like this, I think starting there, showing a little bit too much overconfidence, knowing that Yikes has constantly visited his lane, finally gets punished.
And that means first blood picked up by Cloud9. It's still pretty much dead even in the gold department.
Yep.
But look at that early Roa picked up here for Meals. So that actually is pretty big. Means that that will be stacking that much earlier.
Resiliency, and thanks to the honey fruit, it means that starting can kind of sit here. But, I mean, look at this. He has really no kill potential, especially without the Ignite. And Tribe, I mean, look at this. They're trying to find some kind of entry here. Tigers try to finish off the Krugs. But, like, they were getting a team fight here, Kangas. They're kind of just standing here, and you don't want to do that if you're against Jhin and Jace.
Yeah, they have a lot of range, a lot of poke potential to push you off of these kinds of objectives. We saw it right there. And now also mid lane. Check doesn't full commit there because we do actually see Zello coming in here, but we do have the fight. It starts up. Taunt used by Max Green. Flashes away. Cloud9, they're getting kind of pincered right now, though. Everybody jumps in directly onto this Darius. Explosive cast goes out, but it's Tribe that are starting up the fight. Winning it. Moonfall lands, but Meals has no follow-up. Old School dives the backline. Finds a double kill for himself. And that's a 2-for-3 trade. Tribe still coming out slightly ahead.
Wait a minute, but he also dodged out on the Deadly Flourish. Tries to clear the wave. Old School, I think you're dead, buddy. Blows the flash. No longer has the barrier as well. It was a close fight there. I thought Cloud9 staying a little too long. You don't want these fights to go as long as they did there because Tribe, you have the Jax that's going to be ramping up the entire time. You're just letting Jhin free fire. And that was a difference maker there for Cloud9. Old School couldn't get in range into the fight, so wasn't able to put down damage, whereas D'Anzio, with range as the sniper, kind of just taking pot shots and allows for them to take this. So finally, they kill, they come right back out of the map, Kangas, and we get Rift here for Tribe.
Rift, it was a fight for the Herald, and then nobody got the Herald after the fight, but Tribe got back on the map faster.
Round 2.
Round 2. But it is traded. Dragon picked up here for Cloud9, so objectives across the map. And I imagine Tribe just dropped this Herald immediately top lane and try and crack a turret.
They're getting so much gold into their back pocket. They didn't even need the Rift Herald there, saving it. So Cloud9 really trying to overload this bottom side of the map. What this gets for them is they obviously try to steal more quadrants away from T-Tigers, trying to starve him of whatever gold that they can. But I mean, this is just a dangerous position. Max Green? Yeah, that's why you want that Olaf.
Shucks here, but look at all the members of Cloud9. They actually have more in the area. But oh, actually, over the wall goes Camille. Now stuck there, but they get one kill. Can they turn more? Chuck in some trouble, but has the backup of starting. Look at Old School and Yikes, though. They're on their entire own front line. Old School dives over the blue pit wall and finds another one, attempting to back. Yeah, good luck getting out of this one, buddy. Almost gets T-Tigers.
That was a little sus there. It was a little sus. I almost had to call for imposters there. I was a little bit afraid for them, but Selma, just going to interrupt them, taking a little bit of damage thanks to the Aftershock. That was a really good fight, yet again set up for Tribe. Cloud9, they used all of their abilities. You saw that Zello on this Camille tries to go in on this, go into the pit, but without hookshot, Camille really doesn't have a lot in terms of sticking power. So once that's gone and once the rest of Cloud9 are unable to do any damage, it is just trying to pick up whatever you can. And it seems like Old School, you know, I don't want to say it's taking it personally, but every single time he's just diving in and trying to find a kill. I do not care. I'm trying to take these.
It's always D'Anzio. He's just looking at this Jhin. Got a target on his back right now. But look at those plated steel caps coming through now that I'm noticing for Tribe. They have the same game plan that you were saying that Cloud9 should have here. All that armor stacking. End of the day, I do think that Tribe are in a really good position to close this one out. They're down a Dragon, but with that Herald drop mid, that's 2 turrets that they took in the extended play. They find themselves with a 4,000 gold lead.
And most of their objectives are also just untouched, right? You're talking that they have the Dragon, or that Cloud9 have the Dragon, but look at Tribe's turrets. They are almost entirely healthy, whereas the last tier 1 to stand is about half. So there's a lot of standing gold that is freely accessible to Tribe, or more readily so, as Zello and Chuck, we're fighting, boys.
Yeah.
Yikes is here.
Chuck buys a lot of time there. Zello, I like the attempt, but I was also concerned because Galio can ult into the enemy Camille as well. Like, it's honestly the same combo, whether the Camille's on your team or the other team. Now attempting to dive under the turret, flash from Max Green, the double taunt. Chuck still alive, Max Green doing it all right now. The dunk from Chuck on the killing spree now. Yikes flashes away. One more curtain call shot. Selma dodges it, or blocks it rather. But Tribe, they defend the turret. Nobody dies, and they get bottom tier 2.
They get 2 turrets there. It's such a massive influx of gold, and now Cloud9, they have to be feeling a little bit of pressure. They need this turret. They need these kills.
He's out. No, he's not. Old school.
Old school?
What's he commit? He can't get the damage. One more auto. Taunted under turret. Max Green.
He's taking turret.
Is just insane. And Dienzio gets a double for it.
And that might just be T-Tigers going down on the backswing there. He flashes out. Zello's here. Meals is on the back end to try and cut him off. But it's just consolation prizes here for Tribe. Max Green, give this man a raise, dude.
Yeah, that was
Did you just see that entire line of play? He taunts them. He makes sure that Selma on this Gragas can't start the turret aggro, so Old School's just tanking turret shots left and right. What is this guy doing, man?
With misses the apprehend. Zello barely gets out of that one. That definitely would have been death there with neither of them having their flash available. But yeah, I mean, Max Green been eating his spinach over break here. I can tell he's gotten his rest. Let's see if he's able to do even more as the teams are grouping up in the mid lane. Dragon spawning in 5. Next Herald's already on the table.
Okay, they're just straight up fighting. They want to try and force some kind of objectives, but that's Zello dead.
Ouch. That is painful to watch. And now the rest of the team will fall like dominoes, one after the other. Yikes. Also paying the price. The rest of the team do get out, manage the escape meal, so that would have been a juicy moonfall if you find all 4, but doesn't commit for it. And I think Tribe, they're going to go for double objectives.
Oh, this is so greedy, and if they're able to get away with this, Cloud9 are absolutely shut out from this game. They get the Rift Herald. They have complete control now of the bottom side river, so Dragon is theirs to take. A Mountain Drake just means that they get an extra shield, which, Kangas, I'm sure you've played against this, but Mountain Drake, when you're on the losing team, is just like, oh, cool. They get now a shield that I can't really get through. I already can't kill them with their full HP bars.
Yep.
It's hard enough as it is.
Hard enough to get through that Darius, let alone now that he's got that little extra shield on top.
It's a little baby shield.
A bigger thing, it's also just denying an objective from Cloud9, who are now 9,000 in the hole here. Alk, it's not looking great. It's very rare we see teams come back from these kinds of situations, and Tribe is not a team to give opponents that opportunity.
And it's also, we might just have a fight here. They should just force. There you go. That's what I like to see, Cloud9.
Nobody else on Dienzio, but look at T-Tigers. He just goes directly onto Old School instead. Dienzio finally falls. The Galio ult on the 4. T-Tigers, can you do it? Can you actually make it happen right now? Max Green cannot keep him alive. And that is a successful 2-for-1 trade for Cloud9.
Okay, they get 2 kills. They may have gotten some shutdowns, but like, you just lost an inhibitor at 11 minutes. It took them so long to try and get this, and an important item now here for starting. He finishes his Sorelda's Grudge, so if you think it's hard enough to get away from Jace as it is, both ranged and melee, good luck now. You are not getting away from this guy. 3 items already completed. This is basically just a doom spot right now. Yes, good on Cloud9 for finding the punish, but it's just scraps when you're looking at what Tribe are getting away with.
3 items on Chuck as well, so Tribe are ready to fight. They have that Herald still. Supers will always be pushing bot. I mean, they can make their decision now of do we want to drop Herald mid or top, because you can assume that you'll be able to crack another inhibitor with that if you do it at the right time.
And it's so dangerous now here for Cloud9, right? Because every single one of these fights, it's been, yikes, go in. And the rest of his team is like, okay, wait. We can't actually follow up. Like Kaisa, usually you're like, okay, Kaisa is a great diver, but Olaf doesn't provide any crowd control, so really can't use the killer instinct unless Selma's right next to them. And it just seems like there is something stopping Cloud9 from firing all at the same time. Either someone's getting caught out in another position, or they're just firing from too many different angles. And now with out hook shot
like this,
Chuck.
Although Chuck now in a 1v2 scenario has the dunk, gets one, almost gets the second, but yikes, survives through the ultimate. Meals now 1v1.
Is Meals getting 1v1?
That's a Galio, everybody. That's a support Galio reminder. Herald drops mid, will not get 2 charges. T-Tigers exhausted. Now running away. Old School getting a couple pot shots in there, but yeah, I mean, that's rough when the Diana can't 1v1 a Galio.
You know, the most cope statement that I can make right now is they only lost 1 turret during that entire play. And the Rift Hill did crash on Inhibitor. It's standing, but just barely. But if you're a Cloud9 fan, you're getting your Cloud9 copes out. That's the angle you got to go with from here. You're like, we're not out of it quite yet. The Nexus hasn't exploded. Well,
I noticed there that Starting was actually dead as well, so Meals must have taken him down during all the action in the bottom lane there.
Yep.
Okay, that makes a little more sense then. It wasn't all max screen. There's still signs of life here from Cloud9. They're scrappy. They're fighting it. Baron's on the table, though, and Tribe, they're grouping up around it.
Meals, please finish the recall. Oh, thank God. Okay, not even close. That's the one you go into all chat, either during the game or after. You just say, not even close.
I wasn't even in that bush, baby. But now engagement on to Selma. That's about the Guardian's Angel. And the Flash still has the ultimate available, but T-Tigers says,
he's dead.
You fool! You walked back in and you didn't see me. Now Max Screen playing frontline yet again here. Old School trying to get away from T-Tigers, who's just chasing him down. Cannot get damage off as this Kaisa. The frontline's falling around him. Meals with a nice engage, but it just means nothing because the rest of Cloud9 are getting slaughtered by Tribe on the side here. 1 is traded. 1 for 5, and that is Tribe Gaming back at form like they haven't missed a beat, and they will take down their old rivals in Cloud9. You have to imagine the game ends here.
It's new year. It's a new year, but it's the same old Kings. Tribe, they don't even make it look like fun for the other team. They're just like straight up stomping them. And yeah, there were a lot of execution errors. It's just similar things that we've seen across the region as a whole. But Tribe, I mean, damn, they look so good when they do it like that.
That was some slick gameplay from them. Multiple times they took the outer turret and the tier 2 turret bot lane, and then the bot turret as well off of these engages of Cloud9. You were talking about Cloud9 and how they were having difficulty finding those full-on engages, like everybody comboing at the same time. When they did find them, it was when Jax was in a split push situation.
Yep.
So they actually came out worse for it. Like you see these little dips there on the gold graph. Those are where we saw T-Tigers and Starting actually finding advantages for themselves and taking those objectives. Just beautiful macro coming in from Tribe here.
I think if we're going to go for a more split push style for Cloud9, something we'll get to see as we go further on into the night as we're following Cloud9 throughout this Wild Rift fight night. Where was Meals a lot of this game? Like, the damage is there, yes, but we didn't see a lot of moonfalls. We got one towards the beginning of the game, and that was kind of it. And that was a kill onto Starting. We need to see Meals interact with the team more, and that's why we also get to see so many different styles of him from the Summoner series, right? We're talking about Lulu, so he can link up with Yikes and take control of the jungle mid 2v2. We see things like his most recent video talking about one of his favorite dragons, Aurelian Soul, champion that is really great in team fights and doesn't really need to interact with the enemy team all that much thanks to his star call. So I want to see a little bit more from Meals. This is a star mid laner, and I want to see them step up to the plate a little bit. Yeah, fighting a couple more engages, because when we were talking about the Kaisa follow-up engage, you mentioned the Gragas and that explosive cast. I was also looking at the Diana as that other engage that you can try and follow up on, and we never, again, saw all the pieces of the puzzle come together. Sometimes if you go for this hardcore dive, wombo combo composition, if you don't find those windows to actually go in and pull it off, it's not going to look as great at the end of the day. But we will still get to see Cloud9 a couple more times here. We'll be following them throughout the round robin of the day. So Tribe already picking up that first win. I mean, if you've been following the story of Tribe, this shouldn't be too big of a surprise. They are still the top dogs in North America. But now we get to see Cloud9 against some other opponents coming up next. Exactly. That's what I'm interested in. I want to see if anybody who was maybe, I mean, obviously they're playing, if maybe one of their analysts were able to like peek over at the stream, they're like, huh, interesting. Yeah. They banned 5 champions from the bot lane. Interesting. I might take those notes. 2 supports, 380 carries.
Yeah, that was pretty focused right there. But let's take a look at what happened across the group here, because we know what happened between our games. And it looks like Suzaku GG and Dogwater Gaming are still in their game right now, Alex. So we'll have to wait for them to finish up before we can get into the next one. But yeah, I mean, that'll be our first look into the next opponent for Cloud9, Suzaku GG. If they take the win against Dogwater, that means that they'll have actually the winning record in this next matchup. So Cloud9 might be sweating here. It's exciting either way, because just more names in Wild Rift, right? If anybody's watching, if anybody's scouting, especially from an org, make sure you're taking a look at these types of teams like Suzaku GG, like Dogwater Gaming, because yeah, DWG might be a meme name, but the players are definitely giving their best, and it is updated. Suzaku GG take the win.
Now, Suzaku GG, you got to be feeling super hype right now, because you're in a super huge win-win situation. I think there's minimal losses in this next match against Cloud9. I think a lot of people would say, okay, players that we have all definitely seen have really high highs during the Summoner Series versus, text my notes, Kuro Kenshin, a couple other players that like we've seen on different teams throughout the Summoner Series throughout North America. If they win versus Cloud9, you just took down a tier 1 org. If you lose, you're underdogs.
True, and if you win, you're making it to finals, because you got the 2 wins. There's no way that Cloud9 could bounce back and take that from you at that point. So, I mean, this is a big match. If Cloud9 drop this one, that would be an upset. I'm going to say it right there. They should be favored to win this, but that would still be hype to see a newer addition like Suzaku GG come in and actually, you know, pop off here. But with that said, Alk, we will be sending it to a short break while we get ready for this game to give the players some time to load into the lobby. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with next match after this.
Introducing Fight Night Rift, a bi-weekly Wild Rift event hosted by GiantSlayer. 4 teams will be invited to compete in a round-robin best-of-1 format, where the top 2 teams in the round-robin will play in the finals to decide the winner of that week's Fight Night. And the best part of it all, anyone can join. Head over to GiantSlayer.tv/WR to sign up and have a chance to be invited to compete in the next Fight Night. Our hope with the Fight Night Rift is to create a place to develop North American talent in a grassroots environment. Will you be the next Fight Night Rift champion? We'll see you on the Rift.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, for round 2 in our Fight Night Rift, brought to you by GiantSlayer. We're still following Cloud9 throughout the round robin stage, and their next opponent, Suzaku GG, who won their last match. So if they take this game against Cloud9, they will be moving on to the finals. There's no way they could be knocked out of that contention. I don't believe, unless I'm lying to you again, in which case, I don't
Come
know what
on,
to tell you.
Kangas. No liars.
I don't
have
think
to get,
it's
like,
possible.
Again, it would have to be like the one where like everybody beats one another, but they also like lose to the other.
Or maybe if
just, like,
Cloud9
creates, like, a
lose all 3, then maybe there's some weird shenanigans that can go on. Something
Well,
like that, yeah.
if Cloud9 loses all 3, we don't have to worry about them being in the finals. That's like a guaranteed.
So let's talk about him then. Let's talk about him because Yikes is subbing in for Tarzan for this event here. 2, 3, and 8 on the Olaf. What were our impressions of him? Obviously knowing he's not going to be a mainstay on the team, but how's he jiving with the rest of Cloud9 in your opinion?
I think he's doing exactly what I expect him to do. I mean, so far we've only really seen him on Olaf, and Olaf is particularly one note. I'm sure that you have a lot of experience as a Pantheon player yourself. You kind of just go in. And then if you die, you die. If someone else dies, they die. It is just the way of the trade, way of the sword.
The way of the sword and spear, exactly. Or axe and spear, I suppose, rather. But let's take a look at the head-to-head and take a look through these rosters in particular. Suzaku GG with Asmo, Taka, Ice, Is Your Boa. That's a name that I definitely remember from Summoner Series in the summer, and Yoon. So a lot of new names for myself. I'm excited to get a look for my first experience at some of these players.
Yeah, if this is, then now I had to like double check, make sure this is Asmo of like former team manager experience. So I'm interested to see what comes of this, because you're playing against Zello, who is not, is a pretty good Baron laner in themselves. So Asmo, you've got your own kind of work cut out for yourself. And Isturboa, all eyes on them, because they were one of the members of the Apex is cute and Johto is cuter roster that was like really consistent, and I thought had some really cool pop-off moments when we weren't looking at the star mid laner in both of his rosters.
And again, a reminder that the season hasn't technically begun for Season 1 in North America. This is Fight Night Rift. So eyes on this event. If anybody's scouting, this is all these players' chance from Suzaku GG to show, hey, we can take down players like rosters like Cloud9, even though of course we do have a roster swap and a sub in for these games, but still that would be fantastic news for them if they have aspirations of going pro. On the blue side here, Cloud9 on the red side. Let's see what Suzaku GG's plan is, because Tribe Gaming, it was just shut down bot lane. It was ban every single bot lane champ in the game. Suzaku GG so far, same train.
No, we can't just ban all the ADCs, guys, please. As a marksman player, I'm calling it. Please don't do this, guys. This is just hurting me. No one that is an AD carry is like, I'm really excited to. I want to play Jhin. I just played a couple of games of Jhin myself. This champion is... Look, I don't know about you. I'd rather play Kai'Sa. The range matchup is like whatever, but like Jhin is just so boring, man. Like you go lethality, you pick up an infinite. Like it's just...
Wow.
It's just not for me.
Wow, you might be the only AD carry I've ever heard say that they didn't enjoy playing Jhin, but that's beside the point. Ziggs technically still can be kind of flexed into that bottom role, so, focus on range. Suzaku GG taking away a lot of these range options.
No more bot laners. Support, interestingly enough, that we're getting rid of Morgana. I've heard a lot of murmurings of how really broken this champion is, and now that Morgana's gone, Thresh really starts to rise up in priority. Things like the Galio as well can be very strong, and something that I think Cloud9 really wish they had in Game 1 versus Tribe. If they had the Galio and the Camille and the Olaf, we could have been seeing some parts of Exodia.
Would have been a very different look for them. And you mentioned the Thresh. Suzaku GG have the same read, or at least the same hover right now. Let's see if they actually lock it in. There we go. Blue 1 Thresh. I don't think that should surprise too many people, but the question now is Cloud9's answer.
Yeah. Do we go for even heavier engage? Do we try to just like double down and say, look, Thresh can't stop all of us, can he? Can't hook all of us under turret, or can he? Cloud9, what do they go for? Gragas is still available and would be an awesome flex for both their Baron laner and their support. And if we're looking at powerful junglers, we still have Olaf, who can just kind of run at Thresh and kind of just stand and look at you.
Or you grab the combo, Camille plus Galio. You already mentioned Galio as that other pick outside of Thresh that can rise in priority for supports. And they got the 1-2 punch. Camille locks him down in the ultimatum, and Galio follows up with the hero's entrance. Tried and true classic.
It's easy, right? Like you don't have to do anything funky. You just ult, done. Job's done. You just walk away.
You should be like a spokesperson for this. It's easy. Anybody can do it.
Yeah,
Mama
just
can do
it.
it. Grandma.
You know the really cool thing, I think a lot of players maybe forget this. To beat Wild Rift, you just got to blow up an Nexus. It's that simple. I mean, how hard can it be?
When you boil it down to it, I suppose. It's 50-50. Every team is 50-50. Either you win or you lose, right? Zed and Gragas locked in here for Suzaku, so they're taking that Gragas for themselves. And Zed, not a champion that I'm, too familiar seeing played at the professional level.
Zed, Kangas, do you not remember Horizon Cup? This champion was
not
broken.
Too often.
This champion, yeah, I guess Zed was broken. I still have nightmares of that champion getting 3 ults in 45 seconds. Just like, it hurt. It hurt. As a marksman player, as someone who doesn't like Zed at all as a champion.
It takes thumbs, though. It takes thumbs to pull off the Zed.
Agreed.
So oftentimes, it comes down to the confidence of the player in themselves to pull this off. So props to whoever will be piloting this on Suzaku GG.
And now, Suzaku, ban away tanks. Please, 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 please. If you can ban away tanks, leave Cloud9 with a lot of squishy members. This is just fantastic. He can be a great side laner. He has that late game scaling that we like to see from a Zed early on. So I like it, but you just need to kind of play around it a little bit. Give it some resources. Make sure that it's set up for success. Otherwise, there are a lot of other mid laners. I think Diana was one that was coming to my mind that is just like has so much shielding that he can't really deal with.
So the Diana is the primary focus, but maybe they ban away a tank afterwards. Something like, I don't know, that Mundo is something that comes to mind for myself that maybe Cloud9 would want to stand in front of all these champions. They have that Senna as well, so presumably the Senna Galio lane for Cloud9 here. That opens up a lot elsewhere on the map as they ban away junglers, taking away the Lee Sin as well.
Plus, they're just so resilient when you look at the draft already. They have so much healing, so much shielding coming in, even from something like Camille's Hextech defenses. The adaptive defenses are just there, giving shields whenever she needs them off cooldown. So now for Cloud9, now that they're on red side, they can kind of just, they will have to show their hand in one aspect, but still able to grab counterpick in whatever lane. Remember, Galio more than often has been support, but still can be played in mid lane if you really just need a lot of crowd control from the mid lane.
Yeah, if you really want to flex it around. They'll have to show something here, though. And interesting to note, Suzaku GG didn't ban tanks. They banned other side laners, other champions that can deal with that Zed. Ari, tried and true classic as well here for Cloud9 locked in.
Yeah, if you are playing Ari, you probably shouldn't get hit by a hook. That's just like rule number 1 there for playing against Thresh. It's like a lot of champions that are really hard to land. The only one that I have a little bit of question marks on is going to be the Senna, because Senna, if she gets hooked, she's done for. It's there in the lore as well. It's simple. It's written out for all of us.
Oh, no.
So, Suzaku, what do you got in store for us? What other kind of funky stuff? Are we going to get a Tristana for Mr. Boa again? Vayne could be an answer here if they really want to try and go for that, but Caitlyn made it on through.
All right, I get another new addition to Wild Rift, if you've been keeping up.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of Caitlyn. I am a Pantheon main. I made him in the Baron lane, and Caitlyn is still my perma-ban because I'm just so annoyed with playing against Caitlyn as Pantheon. She just does everything to stop me, and it is the most frustrating thing in the world.
Are you ready to ban Yumi every game? Is that what you're really ready for? Are you ready to ban Set every game as well?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think matchup might be.
Wait! Kangas, no one cares about Sen Yumi anymore. I'm dumb. We've got a Kale on the screen.
Okay.
Let's go.
Talk about scaling. Kale unanswerable in a side lane once you hit that 3rd ultimate upgrade. Like, it is just impossible to deal with her if the game goes that long. And more often than not, I've been seeing Kales get to that stage of the game. This is exciting as a look for Cloud9.
It's super easy to hit level 5 on this as well. Usually, when we're looking at her League PC counterpart, if you can hit level 6 and not be like 0 and 2 or like down 40 CS, that's a win. Your whole team is clapping it up. They're spamming pings at you. They're like, yes, let's go. We're going to win this game. It's like Cassided level 16 countdown, and you're playing against Gragas, which doesn't have a lot of kill threat. Now, the only way that I think Cloud9 absolutely bomb this draft and just straight up lose, there is a world that we live in, that we could live in, where Nunu spam ganks this top lane, or comes mid lane, ruins one lane, one of the solo lanes, and that just cascades into everybody else's problem all of a sudden. Because Kayle, as resilient as she is, does not deal well with people jumping on top of her. She can slow you, she can ult herself, but she can't stop you from forcing her to just like get thrown around the rift.
Especially with the Gragas engage as well. That explosive cast, non-committal, long range, knocks you into everybody that will be then trying to blow you up. Decisions for Asmo here. Decisions for Taka. How do they want to deal with this Kayle, rather. But game has started right now. We see Cloud9 starting their jungler on the top half of the map, so Yikes will not be pathing to defend Zello early.
Okay, he needs to be very careful. Now, Gragas doesn't have a lot of kill threat early on. We've seen this matchup basically against every single bruiser in the game at this point. Really doesn't have all that much to offer in the laning phase, especially with the Ruby Crystal early on. But without jungle attention, Kayle will just free scale like we've been talking about and kind of just gets a get out of jail free card, gets bailed out of what could potentially be a very dangerous lane once you get to level 5.
My question, though, is how does the whole team fit together for Cloud9? It feels like they kind of want to scale, they kind of want to play around side laning, I suppose, but then they also have a lot of team fighting tools with the Galio, the Senna, and the Camille on top of it. So I'm struggling to figure out, like, what is the win condition? What is the game plan of this team? Is it really just as simple as get Kayle scaled into the late game and let her win?
Sure, so I think the thing to note here for Cloud9 that I want to applaud them for is they've given themselves a lot of options when it comes to how they can play this game. We've already touched on it, how strong their side laning can be if you have something like a Kayle. We might have to touch back onto that as Old School blows the flash, is able to get out of here. It's maybe a re-engage. As Yikes just misses everything.
Selma, double taunt with the knockup, but flash is used from the side of SZK. They get out of this one. Using a lot of summoner spells for it, though, and Yikes is still here. Taka should know this. Yikes want this.
They're going to go for it.
Damage onto Yun. Taka walking forward right now. Lands the hook. Selma with the taunt. That's first blood picked up here by Cloud9. Is traded back. 1 for 1 at the end of the day.
Okay, so right there, they're spending a lot of time. And now Ice can be here. Oh. So much damage from the Zed.
Took some time, but he gets there in a 1v3 scenario. Finds a kill. Nice
hook
right there.
He gets ult.
The double. Level 5 and a triple kill. Denied by Isherboa, but picked up for SZK.
Oh my god, and Cloud9! Guys, I was just going to talk about how you can play through split push with your Camille, with Galio providing ultimate pressure from Global alongside something like the Senna. You also have great teamfight tools, but they get caught up on trying to find more kills in the bot lane. Yikes spent a lot of his time sitting in that bottom river bush saying, hey, maybe we can find something with a hook shot. A lot of blinking HP bars allowed for Ice to move in. Was level 4, gets the kill into Old School, and it just goes completely haywire for them. Suzaku start off 4-1. They get 2 kills, and they've wasted a lot of time away from Yikes, who loses the farming matchup against someone like Nunu.
Again, the hype around these kinds of events before Season 1 is officially underway in North America. If you're trying to make a name for yourself, I think Ice is doing it right now. I think Isherboa is as well. These two players, but specifically that Zed roaming down there and finding that play. Big stuff right now for Suzuku. Now they're roaming into the mid lane here. We got a lane swap.
Yep, they want to take control of mid priority. Force them out from the wave. Gives Zed a little bit of alone time there in the dragon lane. Setting up for early objectives here. And Kangas, we're going to get our first official, hopefully, full 5-on-5 team fight here as Zello, he's taken his recall, has picked up the Haunting guys as well as the Fiendish Codex. And hopefully now with the Dragon here available to them and Nunu in the area, Suzaku, if they can set up a strong front line, it's really difficult for Cloud9 to get in there without stepping over the Caitlyn traps and walking into Fog versus Thresh.
But Isherboa hasn't set up the Caitlyn traps yet. So as of now, it's actually Cloud9 with priority in the area. Taka looks for a gank here in the mid lane, but spotted out by Yikes and just kind of walks by with the snowball. Doesn't find much for it. And we got the Dragon Dance, everybody. Who's going to go in as Yikes finding the engage onto Isherboa. Follow from Galio, but it doesn't combo correctly. And now Yikes in trouble.
Dead.
Just blown up. Old School has to flash. Selma runs away. And Suzaku, they have control over the Dragon.
yet another situation where my AD carry is hitting you, the other one isn't. Old School didn't put down a lot of damage. The ultimate goes wide, and I don't know if it would have landed or not, but the Camille ult didn't quite line up with the Galio, and so Isabro was just able to walk out, didn't blow any of his summoners, got the dragon. That's a huge win for them. Now Rift Herald here for Cloud9. Kangas, I'm sweating a little bit if I'm a Cloud9 fan.
I'm surprised Suzaku didn't actually just run directly up to this. I think they could have contested this, but they reset instead. Explosive cast, attempting to steal, not going to land. So Cloud9, that's a big pickup. It helps stabilize them. They're still down 3K. Suzaku misses that snowball. But hey, this Herald could lead into more later.
Yeah, and again, they're pulling all of these members. Suzaku, well, they did lose out on the Rift Herald, and we'll have to watch how Cloud9 are able to use this tool later to try and pick up some gold for themselves and equalize the deficit they find themselves in. Ice is just farming away. He has a pretty decent lead up against his counterpart, and we tend to like to see Ahri when she's being an assassin. As a traditional frontline carry mage, it's not really it. She doesn't do a lot, something akin to like an Orianna.
Ooh!
Oh,
nicely attempted by Ice. Doesn't quite land it. Oh, Yun's here. One auto. Flash. Oh, hit by the charm. No, wait. Oh, you're going that way. Oh,
he's out.
Okay, he's out. He's good. He's good.
There you go. Well, I just had to, everybody just had to experience that. If you are Meals, that didn't just happen. Close your eyes. Didn't happen. If
Imagine a world where you're still alive. Imagine a world where Selma walks away from the Nunu that he sees, bringing the snowball right into him, and now Old School could be in trouble too. Actually, yikes!
Good
getting the solo killed against Ice. Oh, lands! And Old School doomed to die in his own jungle here. Suzaku, Alk, they're bringing it. They are bringing the energy right now.
Suzaku are about to go 2-0 in our group stage kind of format here. They're about to go 2-0 and set themselves up to be going into the finals versus Tribe. Granted, if Tribe win their series, which they're expected to. So, Kangas, I'm happy for them. These are a bunch of guys that are from different teams coming in from North America as a whole, and we've been talking about it being finally Season 1 here for North America and for Wild Rift competitive. It's all about, hey, how well can you play as a team? Cool, we've got all these pickup teams. I think the more important thing is, after this event, I want to see what Suzaku can do. Yeah. If they can stay as a long-term team, it is a really cool, setup as we go further into the season.
And if the whole team doesn't stick together, I want to see which top team signs Isjerboa, because I'm pretty impressed with his performance from the Caitlyn player as well here. A lot of great performance across the map, though, so we'll be keeping our eyes closely on these players. Cloud9 are not out of it yet, though. I don't want anybody to get the opinion that we're just saying this game's over, because a Yikes can still find picks like this.
Yikes has now twice killed the enemy mid laner. He's like, hey, Zed, a little bit far up, bud. I'm just going to take care of that and wipe you off the face of the rift. So gets another kill for themselves, trying to equalize it. But, I mean, you look at the gold right now that's in their back pocket. You got to look at Cloud9. When do they start to come online? We're still waiting for, it's a Kale waiting room in here. Yep. Sen obviously scales too, but if Kale really doesn't interact in the fight and really isn't able to take any turrets, then all that split push pressure that we've been kind of taunting and telling Cloud9, hey, this is what we want to see you do, is all to waste.
It's not going to matter at the end of the day, because the Kale still just scales. Has the Nashor's Tooth completed already, plus the Haunting guys. So getting close to 2 items here and about to hit level 10. I am actually getting a little worried for Suzaku here. I don't know if they've done enough damage, especially with this Herald going down here. This should be a turret for Cloud9. Flash used by Isjerboa. Getting away from Meals there, but can't stop the turret from going down. That Herald will land.
Oh my god, Meals is so low. Here's
Yikes
the fight.
Wants it onto Taka. That's a very tanky enemy, but the charm lands. Look at the flank from Asmo. Looking for Meals. Flash from Meals. Misses it. Asmo now into Old School here. They take down Selma. Everybody's falling. Cloud9 gets slaughtered in the mid lane, and it's Suzaku that come out on top.
They lost their mid-tier 1, but Cloud9, they get baited a little too far in. Yoon finds some hooks. They get the entire team stuck up around this Nunu, and it allows for Ice to come right into that backline and set his team up for success. Suzaku find kills. They get the Dragon in trade, and if they're able to get this Rift Herald, yikes, buddy, I think you're in a little bit of a dangerous position. They're going to get everything here on the map.
Dragon picked up, and this time, Herald is not traded for Cloud9. They have too many members dead. now back onto the map, but as I say, Yikes just goes for a reset, so this is double objectives here for Suzaku. And it's a good look. I was just questioning, had they done enough damage? And right as I question it, they have an insane play. Now, noted, they still are only up 4K at 10 minutes. We've seen teams with much bigger, and Yun will die here. Oh no, his lantern, but has to back up. Yun's here, Taka's here, everybody's here to frontline right now. It's Cloud9 that are actually now retreating from the engage of Suzaku. Old school falls, Selma flashes the wall and will barely get out of that one. Ace of the hole lands on the Yikes. But Cloud9, they thought they had the pick. They thought they had the answer. They even baited me. And still, at the end of the day, Suzaku come out on top.
Oh man, this is exactly what we talked about from Draft, though. A lot of their team doesn't like getting stuck on. And suddenly Cloud9, when you put the crowd control in their face, they can't do much about it. They're going in. Wait, whoa,
Engage,
guys.
Asmo doesn't have the stone plate anymore.
Using the turret.
Asmo's low, Yun's low. That's Yun down, that's both down. Taka, 3 fall, a double kill to Meals. Boa cannot get away from Yikes. Actually has the trap placement, playing around the minions, but that's some burst damage from Camille. A double kill to 2 members of Cloud9.
Okay, good job from Cloud9 utilizing terrain there to make sure that, hey, they can't fight us. If they take this fight, it's going to be extra greedy from them. So now, look across the map with 4 members dead. Kale gets to start to get way away on this turret. I assume with how long it's going to take them to respawn and get back onto the map, Kale's going to get a lot of damage, especially now that Cloud9's bot lane are moving over. This should just be their turret if they really want to. It seems like they're going to reset, go for more of their items, recall, get some items into their back pocket. But that's a huge win, I think, for Cloud9. And you see now, the gold is even.
And that's Leandri's on the Kale. That's also Zonia's picked up. The Stasis enchant on Kale as well. So Zello is scaled. I mean, honestly, level 11 now on the Kale is getting to that just unkillable mode here soon. And the gold's dead even across the board. Suzaku had that window, but after sticking around too long bot lane, now I wonder what's their next play? How are they going to find a way to get back into this game?
They need to keep themselves in the game, right? It's all about, hey, we're reaching a certain amount of ability to play the game. We're getting into that, trying to keep the game proactive for us. Okay, good. Force Cloud9 to make mistakes, but now, as the game continues to slow down, Cloud9 can find their footing. They can find how they want to play these fights, and slowly but surely, talked about the jungle matchup. Yikes is 3 items deep right now.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, I didn't even notice that. 11,000 gold in Yikes' pocket here, and now Cloud9, they saw Suzaku go for a play top lane, try to get the flank here through the jungle, but while they don't find any members of Suzaku, they at least get that top turret.
Okay, now that turrets are starting to fall, we can kind of fall back into that game plan that we had set up for Cloud9, where they have some good tools for team fighting. Kale is still a monster when it comes to that, but if they want, they can also go split push. Camille is strong enough that they can do it. You just see how resilient their members can be once they have some items. They're able to play the fights how they want to. So we've been talking about it. We've been setting up for it. Suzaku, what is your next Haymaker punch? Because it needs to land, and it needs to be a big one if you want to try and continue winning this game.
And they need to get it on the squishy members. We look at the whole roster, the whole composition right now. Gragas is going full tank. Who's the AP? The answer is nobody. They only have AD damage and then tanks right now, and Yikes, as I'm saying it, is catching Ice out in the top lane yet again. Flashes, but Yikes can still chase this. Has another hook shot. Ice gets out. That was very precarious. But the point I was making before there, all the armor stacking coming in from Cloud9.
You're saying how many Zed players need hands? Well, there you go. Going right in.
He's got it. Is your boa taking some damage from the dragon right now? Cloud9 contesting this. That was a good ultimate coming in here from the Gragas player. Can he frontline? Now the rest of the damage following up. Is your boa still safe on the backline here? Flash, but they doesn't land it. Selma can't land the top, but it doesn't matter because Cloud9 get through the front line of Suzaku, and they also take the dragon. Actually, no, dragon was secured.
They can go Baron. They should just go Baron here. They may have lost the dragon and they're going to lose their tier 1. Zed's like, okay, I'll take it, but you have this Kale. That's just a Baron there.
About to hit level 13 on Kale as well. Zello about to be hitting critical mass right now. What is Ice going to do? Over the wall, you can see it with the Shadow Clone. Doesn't get a kill, but now he goes in. That's a death sentence from Yikes. Ice is looking for it, but he just gets taken out immediately, and now Yikes keeping the play going onto Yun. Selma ults in. Old School doesn't quite have the range to follow up, but it doesn't matter. Cloud9, they got the objective.
Exactly, and Kale is still alive and well, level 13. Everybody, if you have a clock at home or if you got clocks in chat, just go ahead. Level 15 Kale incoming. That's
Yep.
the doom timer. Maybe you got some woke, you just start spamming Pepe's in chat. It's kind of it's getting a little scary here, Kangas. I'm a bit afraid here for Suzaku.
Probably one more reset away from Rabadon's Elk. That's also scary.
Oh. And it's got stasis as well. Like, if you're Suzaku, you're like, guys, we need to find some kills. Caitlyn's maxing out on range. You see all those Zeal items in her back pocket? She's got the RFC, the static, but like, we need a little bit more. We need more damage.
Gold is still dead even, but the dragon stats are slightly edging out Suzaku into a somewhat lead, but like we keep saying, it doesn't matter if the Kale hits that critical mass at level 15 right now. So can Suzaku do anything right now? They have to find something. They're not finding the hooks. They're not finding the engages.
Oh, Ice is dead.
And they're just getting soloed in side lanes. I mean, first of all, Zello just solos Asmo, and now in the top lane, Ice has to get out. This Baron push is insane.
Look at how much they're just dealing damage, and really Istrovo is the only one that can interact with the lane at that point. So they're going to lose one inhibitor. That's another dead to the Kale.
Wow.
Kangas, this is it.
It's absolutely it. Cloud9 have done it. It looked a little shaky at first, but they will not go down, and they will keep themselves in the conversation for that grand finals. Cloud9 move up to 1-1 on the day.
Okay, it shows me that the game against Tribe wasn't just like, oh, we got outlaned, GG, go next game, right? We're just prepping for the next game. Suzaku had a meaningful lead in the early game. They got all the dragons, they got the Rift Heralds for themselves, and Cloud9 weren't able to make meaningful trades. But as you see, the game was in their hands, and then it wasn't all of a sudden. Kale was doing really good.
That initial dip was that bot play. It was giving over 4 kills in that bottom play, and then giving over that Baron. That wasn't Baron at that point. I believe it was just a reset. But still, like that entire dip in that roller coaster was just one overstay. That was the difference in this game.
I think the one thing we've also seen now, finally, Yikes had a really awesome game this time around. Most gold in the game, but also the fact that he was able to solo kill Ice multiple times over took away a lot of that split push pressure that we were expecting for Suzaku to have. So without that lever on the side lane to pull to try and alleviate pressure on the opposite side of the map, kind of just left Suzaku with, okay, well, Istrobo is not hitting turrets on this Caitlyn. We're not really engaging either. Well, this kind of sucks. Now what do we do?
I guess we just look for a desperation, snowball or hook in the mid lane, and they just weren't finding them. They weren't actually landing the engages. But still, props to this team. Suzaku for showing up here and making Cloud9 sweat, making them work for it, most importantly. Istrobo, if you looked at that, 26,000 damage. Next highest person, I believe, was 17k around there on Cloud9. So I think Istrobo is still showing he's got it.
That's what I wanted to see too. Because again, on the Apex and Johto's cuter lineups, really didn't get a lot of room to shine. When it was Apex, you have this carry style Baron laner that's taking a lot of resources from your jungle and mid. And then on Johto's cuter, you got Johto in mid lane, right? What are you going to do about that, right? You got a superstar mid laner there. Can't really do much.
Named
got to
after
see
them,
we've seen some glimpses of it from Mr. Boa, and being able to perform on Caitlyn is awesome. However, it's just unfortunate, right? You can't really build a lot of damage. You have to go for all of these Zeal items. They're all a little bit more utility based, just trying to exacerbate the range matchup they usually have with Caitlyn. And they weren't there first on the play, which is one of the strengths of Caitlyn, right? You get to set up first, you get to set your battle lines, and you force the enemy to walk into all of your traps.
A lot to learn from this roster. We'll be keeping track of how they do in next series of games. Speaking of, let's catch up on what's been happening around the Rifts here. No surprise. Tribe Gaming 2-0. So, what this means, Cloud9, their next opponent, which we'll watch on stream here, is Dogwater Gaming. If they lose that, and Suzaku lose, Cloud9's still in the head-to-head, so they're good. Suzaku need to beat Tribe Gaming, essentially, is what this comes down to. Suzaku needs Cloud9 to lose for them to beat Tribe, to finally be the team to do it. It's looking like we're going to have a Cloud9 versus Tribe Grand Finals, but still, anything could happen.
It was looking a little worrisome. you know, first 5 minutes, I'm sure some people just tuned off of chat. They were like, oh, cool, we're going to get some new people in the finals. And then they came back after like 15 minutes, like, hold up. What is this? Weird.
Kale scaled. And Yikes just kept.
It's a Kale diff.
Nice. Yeah, Yikes diff as well. But with that said, we will be sending it to another short break before we're back with our final game of the group stage to determine who will move on to that grand finals. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back after this. Hello and welcome back, everybody, for the final game of the Fight Night Rift group stage. We're still following Cloud9's journey as they take on Dog Water Gaming to close out the day. They gotta win, Alk. They gotta win under their belt. If they can beat Dog Water Gaming, they guarantee they're going on to the finals.
That is a sentence that I never thought I would hear. I never thought I would hear the day where we're waiting for Cloud9 to beat Dog Water Gaming to be sent to grand finals. This is a truly historic and only possible here at Fight Night Rift.
Exactly. And if you also want to participate in Fight Night Rift, make sure that you don't forget to sign up for next one happening in 2 weeks, January 25th. You can do !sign up in the Twitch chat now, or go check out. Let's see if I can remember the website.
I got you if you don't get it.
GiantSlayerWR.tv/wildrift. GiantSlayer.tv/wildrift. Either way,
it's /WR, but I'll give you participation points for it. It's fine.
I told you, my job here is to lie to the audience.
True.
But again, the truth is we do have a match coming up ahead of us here. So Cloud9, again, with Yikes subbing in for Tarzan for this event specifically. How are we feeling about them so far? Are they still the Cloud9 of old? Mostly looking at the other pieces around Yikes, Zello, Meals, etc.
I think this team takes a little bit of, some different tooling right now, just because I think Old School's just probably having a bad day so far. And without kind of your consistent 80 carry like we saw in Jackie and Griff, I think they're missing a lot of that firepower that Cloud9 typically can kind of present when we get into team fights, when we get onto the Rift, right? So it's really going to be on other members to kind of step up in their stead, right? You need either Selma to have an outstanding carry performance, or even Yikes, who again is subbing for this roster, comes in on this Camille and just dumpster the competition in that second game versus Uzaku.
And they're going to be up against, again, Dog Water Game with Pandemic P, Demon King, EU Import, I like that name, Soju Rain, another mainstay here in Wild Rift, and Stove. Soju Rain actually just followed me on Twitter the other day, so that's exciting.
Oh,
I
yeah, wait,
Soju
I forgot about
verified.
that. Yeah. I had to harass them when I got into their Twitch chat because I said, yo, what's up with this? Why am I only getting followed now, brother? Because we've gone back and forth a few times. But he's like, yeah, I just started following people again. He even hit the follower cap, which I didn't know was like a thing. You can only follow like X amount of people a day.
Oh.
Didn't know. Wouldn't have known that.
Well, I'm happy that we both made it onto that limit list by the end of the day. So excited to see now what Dog Water Game's able to do against Cloud9. And we won't have to wait any longer because we're ready for the draft, everybody. Let's hop into it and close out the group stage with a bang. Dog Water Gaming on the blue side, Cloud9 on red. Now, Cloud9, I liked the Camille. I liked Yikes on the Camille in particular much more than the Olaf. I think that Yikes, I want him on something that can facilitate and be that kind of engage, that playmaker for the team. I've given up on the Olaf. I'm just not convinced that it's actually playable here in North America. But I don't know, maybe you disagree with me on that one.
If he had the Galio, I would say yes, it's playable.
Okay.
He did not have the Galio, and thus, it's like a Happy Meal, right? You can't have just the McNuggets. You can't just have the burger. You gotta have the fries too.
Okay.
It's just not playable after that.
I mean, we have very different orders because I never get the fries. I feel like it's a waste of money. It's, for me, the order, it's a cost to calorie ratio, Alk. You have to do the math of how many calories am I getting for the cost I'm spending. French fries are absolutely
It's a cost to get
worst.
ratioed is what I'm hearing, bro. What the? Who doesn't order fries?
Nuggies are better than fries.
Bro.
Nuggies are
Nuggies are good.
Only time to
Anyway.
get fries is when you get a shake to dip them in. I will agree with you on that one, but otherwise it's wasted calories. It's not.
I'm gonna put a
necessary.
sticky note over where your camera is on my screen, so I don't have to look at you anymore.
Oh,
Done.
I've done that this whole time.
Oh.
Camille and Rakan banned away from Dark Water Gaming. Cloud9 choosing the Jace and the Jax banaways for themselves. And another support ban of Thresh. Morgana, notably, still on the table here.
Okay, do we get to see Morgana first pick? I really am afraid of that, just because I like the champion. We haven't seen her be that high priority. If they are, Camille has been someone that, has been banned permanently. So, like, I don't know, Kangas, throw out a champion. Are we throwing in Galio first pick?
I think it's Morgana. I think you go Morgana here if you're Dog Water Gaming. I don't know what Stove's champ pool is, though, so maybe they don't actually pilot it. Ooh. Now, interesting to note, I kind of consider Lulu as not a support main myself, so Smack should be the one to talk about this. I would assume as a decent lane against that Morgana at least. You know, you're able to just kind of poke out the Morgana. You're not trying to engage on them, so the Black Shield's not really going to do much at the end of the day. So it's an interesting choice for Blue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Cloud9 just decided no one gets to play bot lane anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soju, Rain, and Stove, you can go ahead, roam. Go somewhere else because you're not playing that bot lane. Good luck. Caitlyn Morgana is possibly the strongest lane in terms of being able to make the enemy laners go FF at 5. Lulu in the laning matchup typically against Morgana, really all she does is she puts shields on her marksman or whoever the carry is who's getting bound so that they take as little damage as possible, and then you can polymorph the enemy ADC so they don't do any damage during that time. So you kind of just mitigate the crowd control that's going on there. But like, this is a situation where now you have to pick either a really strong marksman or someone that is not necessarily a carry and can play a support to another person on the team. We see a Malphite. There's a lot of weight, I think, in terms of what Demon King can potentially do.
This is interesting here. The Malphite plus Orianna combo. A lot of wombo, a lot of team fight I'm noting from all three champions locked in for Dogwater Gaming so far. I would love maybe something like a Jinx. If they can get that, if Cloud9 aren't banning away other AD carries here, they're locking in Nunu for themselves. Dogwater Gaming, if they find like a scaling AD carry, something can play from range and win these team fights, that could be an angle for them.
Ooh. I'm a little bit afraid of Nunu. Nunu is... How do I put this, Kangas? I don't know how you feel about Nunu, but like Nunu is one of these champions that just feels so evasive to how I want to like talk about the game, because he just kind of farms. He does a little bit of tanking, but he really doesn't do anything particularly well that is very prominent in Wild Rift, right?
I would say probably the thing that Nunu does the best, maybe two things that he does the best. Number one, taking objectives quickly. You can actually burst down objectives very fast if you get on them. And number two is early game ganks. So that snowball actually is an incredible ganking tool. As soon as you're level 3, you're ready to go and you can just look for chain ganks. So that means that, again, what is Demon King going to want to play into that? Well, it's not going to be Vayne for Soju Rain, at least.
It can't be Jax, right? Like, if we're talking about carry junglers, you have so much facilitation between the 3 champions that Dogwater have already picked. You could go Lee Sin. It's a carry jungler. I don't know how many tools you really want to put in, but I'm trying to think of junglers that are good at delivering Orianna and making sure that Lulu can really get use of it. So I'm thinking of melee junglers.
Is it an Olaf angle? Right when I say don't play it, is that what's going to be locked in here?
It might be. And you know what? This is a good Olaf game. I know we were just poo-pooing all over the champion. This is actually a good Olaf game. He just runs at this enemy team. Morgana binding, walk it off. Caitlyn bind, or Caitlyn trap, walk it off. Nunu, ignore the both of them, do the full cinematic, and just run straight at the enemy.
Nunu wasn't even in that cinematic. That was like
Olaf was. Olaf counts.
Yeah, true. Oh, is it back to the Kayle? Is it back to the Kayle here for Cloud9? They played in the last game, and Zella was able to get to that late game scaling. I don't even think hit level 15 by the end of the game, but still locked in here for Cloud9 into that Malphite. Should be a free lane.
Yep, yet another one where we are just punishing Baron lanes. Oh, you're picking a tank? Cool, I'm just gonna play Kayle, and we're gonna call it a day. Kangas, I think. Now, I'm gonna hold this because Stove previously did have to fill in the mid lane for one of the rosters that they played. It's gonna be a Lulu mid. EU import, it's not even, we've barely started season 1, and we're already importing from other regions. Let's go, boys.
Cloud9 driving the finals, everybody. Let's go.
Let's go.
Although, we were looking for a carry jungler. And Master Yi. I would argue this fits the bill, and I would argue that if there's any singular champ in the game that can even look to contest Kayle scaling, probably the Yi. So, Yi with a Nami Orianna shield, Lulu shield and ult, Malphite to engage for you, like... Maybe the pieces all fall together for Dogwater, but it's going to be very hard to assemble that puzzle.
You know, it's going to basically come down to how Dogwater and Cloud9 interact over battle lines of, hey, this piece of crowd control is gone. throw the Master Yi in. Throw him. He's like a, you know, like typically how in high fantasy goblins are sometimes used as like a projectile. We're just throwing Master Yi in there with the Lulu. They're like a combo. You just throw them right into the enemy, and hopefully if they can't interact, they're dead. They just straight up die. They fall over, and the game's over at that point.
There's a lot of CC. There's a lot of CC. The new knockup root, Morgana root, Caitlyn traps and net, Leona on top of all of that. Good luck. Demon
Good luck,
King
boys.
Right now. Yeah, this is gonna be brutal to see, but hey, there's always a chance, everybody. Dogwater Gaming, can they pick up their first win on the day, or will Cloud9 lock their tickets to the grand finals with a win right here? Final game of the group stage, Alk. We're loaded onto the Rift.
This is also our first time I think we've been able to watch Morgana mid.
Yeah.
This is a champion that I thought was going to be mid when we saw her during the holiday special, but finally makes her debut in the mid lane. And against Lulu, this is just two enchanters and like one kind of like half mage in the Morgana. They can just farm. They've got good wave clear. Lulu does get pushed in, so watch for Master Yi to walk mid lane and pick up some extra minions. Wow, that was hard.
Wait,
okay.
What?
So,
It's not even a minute on the clock, man. You're not supposed to do that yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Do you think EU import is playing from EU? Is that what's going on here?
I don't think that saves you from that matchup. I don't think I don't think 150 ping or 40 ping saves you from that laning phase.
Oof.
I don't know what
That is
happened,
a
but it
rough
looked
way
like
to
there's a
start.
pretty big wave as well. So Meals just like ignited him. If you're good, there's so many questions that I wish we could answer right now, Kangas.
Unfortunately, we do not have the answers to them, but Yikes has an invade right now, looking to get up in Demon King's face, who has the ghost, pops the ghost, looks to chase down Yikes. Can't chase too far, though. Selma's there.
You know, I didn't make the mental connection. We have Orianna bot, which is something that I've been waiting to see more of, just because the marksman pool is a little crowded right now. And mid lane has a lot of mages, but there's not a lot of physical damage carries that are allowed to be played just because of, you know, the texture of the game, right? There's so many mages compared to how many AD casters and physical damage assassins there are. So I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see that we're seeing a little bit more variation. If you're a marksman player and you're looking for team, this is one of the most important things you can do to differentiate yourself from other marksmen. Because everybody can play Jhin. Everybody can play, for the most part, play Caitlyn. Not everybody can play Orianna and Ziggs.
Yeah, those ones are the ones that will really open up your team to have a much stronger pick ban phase. With now 5 bans, a lot of those marksmen do get banned out here. All in the top lane right now. Level 5 hit by Pandemic. That's only level 3 on Zello. In some trouble. Selma's walking up. Higher level than the Kayle, by the way. Now hits it as Zello gets level 4, but Pandemic B having a pretty good laning phase.
The whole team is here.
Down. Zenith Blade, a Shield of Daybreak, gets Flash.
So what set this up here is the fact that Pandemic
Demon
was
King.
able to force an early engage, and that's just Kayle dead. There's no ultimate there.
That's
Goodbye.
clutch. That's pretty clutch from Demon King. I actually really like that play, but actually locked down by the tanks and takes the full brunt of a Nunu ult. That is 2 kills to Cloud9.
Okay, Cloud9, if you got some people who are sitting there in all chat, you just say worth ? You just straight up disrespect them. That's just a dead 80 carry as well. Oh, the barrier save from Sojurain, really important there. But what started as a good laning phase for Pandemic, he forced an early recall away from Kayle, zoned her off of an extra wave under the turret, as well as almost killed and forced some summoners. Ends up in a double kill there for Cloud9, which is just like super bad.
Now, importantly for Dogwater Gaming, the kills did not go onto the Kayle. That would have been really bad, but did pick up both assists. So Zello comes back into his lane phase, actually even has some magic resist. I don't think that Pandemic, even building AP now, will have the ratios to actually, you know, all in this Kayle. Kayle can just sustain up, just like that interaction right there. Now, Seismic Shard will be up before Kayle can heal again, but still, it's not going to be the same window like that early game.
Nah, the only pushback I would give, and I think Dogwater Gaming's bot lane is going to feel some pushback right now. Say goodbye, Soju. Okay, well, that just happened.
You don't have your sport with you. Yeah, that's bound.
Yeah. Now, I know, Kangas, you've also experienced AP Malphite. It doesn't matter how much magic resist you have. That champion always one-shots you. It doesn't even matter. It's just like, you send the missile in, and hopefully someone goes down.
Fair enough.
Please don't steal
Maybe
this.
I'm undervaluing the damage. Okay, yeah, Meals almost got that away from Demon King, who didn't even smite. Woo, that's some confidence,
Chad right there.
I suppose. But Cloud9, they're 4,000 up because they get that bottom turret. So immediate Herald drop here from Dogwater Gaming.
And take a look at this. Because they got the bot tier 1 here for Cloud9, they immediately swap over Dogwater, trying to find something. They shouldn't be able to grab this, so now with 2 turret plates in their back pocket, goes to their AP Malphite, which just means that's probably an Awakened Soul Stealer just on spawn right there, if not going for a Ludens. There it is.
Yeah.
But putting your Caitlyn in that lane with no one there to answer, what is Dogwater able to do here? You send Nami to pick up this wave? Well, now you're just trading a turret for free.
Yeah, their lane assignment's a little slow right now, and that will mean objectives picked up by Cloud9. This is something that we see between the teams that actually had a full roster that competed during the Summoner Series versus those that did not. The macro focus. It's a scrap in the jungle now, though. Demon King
Demon King
I'm going in. I'm a Master Yi with multiple supports behind me. Pandemic throws out the ultimate. Demon King unleashed, but taken down. Old School got to safety and gets a double kill.
Okay, that was definitely I definitely saw Demon King just like hit the auto attack button and it hit the closest thing next to him. Like, he didn't even bother to move for ADC. He's like, I'm hitting the Leona. If Leona dies, I'm going to hit the next target that is given to me by the system. So that's a kill. It's a bunch of kills for Cloud9, a bunch of turrets now in their back pocket, and the kind of one note, we do one thing and we do one thing very well of Dogwater is just falling apart at this point.
No. Oh, Soju loses this 1v1.
I'm gonna close my eyes. Soju did not die on my screen right now.
Oh no, he definitely did, but at least he didn't have to witness it. So I'm happy. I'm happy you did that. We should have had a parental warning come up on screen.
If I didn't see it, it didn't happen. That's all I'm gonna say.
If I didn't see a kill in Wild Rift.
I didn't see Meal solo kill the enemy.
That's why you close your eyes with every team fight. I get it now. It makes sense.
That's just a marksman thing. It's like I don't want to see the horrendous atrocities that are Master Yi walking. Oh, he's just straight up dead. Okay.
Like the CC chain. You cannot deal with this as a solo Yi, as I say. Takes down Old School. If that was a 2-3 enemy, maybe has that, but the CC is just too strong.
Bye, Soju. Okay, I'm gonna look at this one.
Oh no! Just immediately again. Oh, we've all been there. Off spawn, you just get picked off again. Now Selma trying to give a really bad time to Stove here, who still stays alive. So 2 enchanters and a rock, and they hold the turret.
Between the rock and the turret, they are just completely stuck. So, if you're a Dogwater Gaming fan, welcome. But also, you are looking at this team to just completely deathball at this point. You don't get to farm anymore. All of your jungle camps are going to start to get slowly, if not rapidly, taken away from you by the rest of Cloud9. Your turrets are getting whittled down as is, and you're putting so many eggs into the Master Yi basket where he's level 9, he's already a level down, he's just barely even in gold, and it's just going to try and finish his second item. With double enchanters on your team, it is on Demon King to win at this point. Pandemic and him need to link up alongside these 2 enchanters and just find kills. And if they can't do that, I mean, Cloud9, they win team fights, they can win side lane, they're already whittling away at all of these turrets. The game is all but inevitable for them.
Oh, yikes. Looking for a game here. Pandemic throws out the ultimate to get away. And it's not even going to matter because Leona's got the wraparound center plate, lands, and the tanks have
double redemption!
Oh! Does he survive? Flashes. And the Lulu ult! He's alive! Pandemic lives, everybody! The Malphite gets out, now Demon King goes in, immediately CC'd again, and now there's no Lulu ult, but the double bubble! That was massive! Demon King now looking at the carry, trying to chase down Zello, doesn't quite have the damage, and they gotta back off. Dogwater Gaming, they're deathballing though, they're doing what you said, Alk. They have the composition. Can they find Old School? Oh, somebody's got blocked out already, even if it survives.
There are so many wonderful things that just took place on my screen right there. There is a Malphite ult that still ended up getting hit by the new snowball. There's double redemption that I just had to see. Like, this is a great game. This is why I love things like this, the Fight Night Rift. You don't get this anywhere else. You can't get this kind of gameplay. You can't exactly. You can't get Master Yi with double enchanters, looking to potentially play upset against Cloud9. We do have a tiebreaker situation versus Suzuka. If they win against Tribe, they're tied for first, and it may be based on game time, which is fun, and that means Cloud9 are not guaranteed to be in the finals.
True. Ooh, that is interesting to note here. Oh, Shockwave lands. The tidal wave. In goes the rock.
Oh!
But gets blown up. Demon King still has the Lulu ult, but tries to get through all this CC. There's just no way. It's too much. It's layered too thick. And that is Cloud9 getting the objective and also 3 kills for their efforts.
Yeah, Stove and Soju, they're like, hey man, we can't give you any buffs as the Master Yi if you don't walk towards. We don't have infinite range. They're actually one patch off. If this was the patch with Yuumi, then yeah, this would have been a sick fight probably. Yuumi would have smurfed this alongside Master Yi, but unfortunately, not every support can have infinite range, and it just means that Demon King goes down. They grab another turret. They are just slaughtering Dogwater Gaming at this point.
I did just realize, though, Demon King is the one that picked up the Herald, so Dogwater Gaming do have that to play with. 12,000 gold down against the Kale composition is not the ideal position to be in, though, so they will need to... I mean, as sad as it is, like, same game plan, Deathball. Like, that's really what your composition does.
You don't have to do anything else. There is no need to think. There's no need to, like, try to play with. Just Deathball. Don't pay. Play for wards.
Soul Stealer Lulu?
Yes. Yes, it is Soul Stealer Lulu. This is exactly what everybody is seeing. It is just so we can get our ultimate off as many times as possible. If you get 5 assists in one team fight, that's a free one there.
True.
Rift Herald's going to act as a super minion.
Oh, Meals hits it, but Demon
QSS?
has the QSS. Stunned again, and he's dead.
He's just gone.
That's just, again, too much CC. Leona alone would have been rough, but now the engage here onto the KO. Oh, the shockwave lands. Meals takes some damage as well. Selma trying to take up as much as he can. Find time for Yikes. Double snowball. Meals in as well. Hits the root. Has the damage. That's another kill picked up for Cloud9. The team fight is going stellar.
Wait.
Old School joining in now, trying to get a kill. Polymorphed. Red buff burn. Oh, that is just picture perfect for Cloud9's AD carry.
Okay, Old School, he's like, guys, I couldn't attack in the last team fights. Let's just pick the champion with the most amount of range on marksman so that I can play from range and actually auto-attack people. The static shiv, the ultimates are coming on through. Cloud9, they just keep taking down Dogwater Gaming, and you know, it's basically what you gotta do. Sadly, Cloud9 is a brick wall, and all Dogwater Gaming can do is kind of just keep slamming themselves into it and hope something falls.
Oh, Demon King
See?
pops the alpha, going for Old School right now. That's a lot of damage to get through. Stasis, Demon King, is he alive? Is he dead? He gets another alpha, but I wasn't onto Old School. Oh, does not kill the Caitlyn. That is another really good tidal wave, though. The bubble lands. The engage from Pandemic. Do they get the fight anyway? Zello, very strong right now on this Kale. Still alive, heals up, finally goes down. Meals doesn't land the ultimate. Double flash is used by Dogwater Gaming, but the flash from Selma re-engages onto Soju Rain, trying to get some damage. Old School's joined in now. The Caitlyn autos from downtown gets a double kill, goes godlike 6-0. Cloud9, it doesn't even matter if they lose their Kale. The Caitlyn's the real carry here.
The fight lasted so long that Demon King respawned at the end of it. This is great. So, some things to note. Cloud9 are obviously playing this out pretty well, where they're using stasis, they're using correct timings on some of their abilities to make sure that they can live long enough that Demon Kings ends up dying, and then it's such a huge overextension from the Master Yi, kind of what you just have to do as the champion. But for Dogwater, I want to give huge props to Soju. The start of that fight is a little tragic just because the ultimate from the Orianna ends up going wide because he goes way too far. However, Soju's playing these fights really well, and we'll have to see, can they enter for this Baron?
Easy secure right there. Engage comes through from Pandemic, but Demon King's a little late. Now joined in onto the fight. Where are the supports? Import tries his best, but a double kill to Meals, and that should be game. Cloud9 looking clean, even with a substitute jungler in here. They're not missing any tricks. They lost to Tribe, but they are showing dominance here against the other team showing up for Fight Night Rift. And with this Baron, can look to push for the game.
Exactly. It's just all of this crowd control. Meals taking control of the early game so heavily just meant that, hey, You might be playing Lulu, but without that mid priority, it allows for Yikes to just do whatever he wants. And this guy's been imposing his will now 2 games in a row. Even did it a little bit in that Tribe series here. Yep, finish it, guys. Come on. There you go. Hit the Nexus. I know we talked about it at the beginning of the game here, Kangas. Very simple. You blow up the Nexus, you win.
Something that most teams, I'd argue 50% of teams that play fail to achieve that goal.
True.
Which is kind of sad. It's a sad stat to think about, but Cloud9 achieved that goal here, and that is a gold graph you like to see, especially with a team that has something like that Kale scaling. You're against a Master Yi. You don't give them any window into the game. It's just consistent gold income.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Kangas, but if I'm on the winning team, seeing myself constantly in the gold lead does feel pretty good. As a winning team, being in the lead is good. Like, Kale didn't really even have to do all that much this game, surprisingly enough. I know the KDAs kind of show a little bit of a different story, but Selma just being at the right place at the right time, right? Bailing Zello out of that top lane situation early on when there was a huge, differential. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't want to say Kale did anything this game just because, hey, man, you didn't have to do anything. Zello didn't really have to do anything this game. It was all on the rest of his team to really kind of just survive. That's all you got to do. Survive the first 3 seconds, you win.
Exactly, and maybe ult the Caitlyn. Although I don't even think that ever came up. Caitlyn just always showed up like after the fight had already finished. I can't believe Selma didn't die. Like the Leona front line there, just 5-0. That is insane, everybody. But there you have it.
Take notes.
Take notes. Smacks, I hope you're watching. Watch Selma's gameplay. But that's it for the group stage here, Alk. Cloud9 now 2-1, but you are right. Technically, depending on how the other game off stream is going, if Tribe dropped that, we would have a 3-way tie between all the teams that are then 2-1. So interesting to see, but I think that we have an update on that actually. So let's take a look and see. Was Tribe able to pick it up? And there we go. Tribe gets the win over Suzaku. GG. Tribe versus Cloud9 in the grand finals.
I was kind of waiting for production and kind of just try to either try to sneak it in and be like, hey, Suzaku won, but like don't say anything. But yeah, it's as is, was is, you know, we get to see what we get from round 1, best of 1. Cloud9 versus Tribe. Now, this is where I want to see Cloud9 use the momentum of winning 2 games now, bring it back, win a game versus Tribe. Let's start there. Let's win 1 game, and we take baby steps, because Tribes so far have proven time and time again, you can beat them once, you can beat them twice, but eventually they are just going to beat you in a tournament setting.
And I believe, if my memory serves me right, Tribe did drop a game back in December's holiday special, if I remember correctly. So, hey, the bar is set, Cloud9. Can you get at least 1, or can you finally take down your rivals? We're going to send it to a short break here before we're back with the best of 5 grand finals right after this.
Introducing Fight Night Rift, a bi-weekly Wild Rift event hosted by GiantSlayer. 4 teams will be invited to compete in a round-robin, best-of-1 format, where the top 2 teams in the round-robin will play in the finals to decide the winner of that week's Fight Night. And the best part of it all, anyone can join. Head over to GiantSlayer.tv/WR to sign up and have a chance to be invited to compete in the next Fight Night. Our hope with the Fight Night Rift is to create a place to develop North American talent in a grassroots environment. Will you be the next Fight Night Rift champion? We'll see you on the Rift.
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the grand finals of the first official Fight Night Rift of 2022. Alk, we got Cloud9 taking on Tribe here in a best-of-5 match. First time we've seen these two teams against each other in quite a while. And Tribe, no surprise, 3-0 in their way here to the grand finals.
They've only lost when it came to the best of 5 here, so maybe they do drop a game. And Cloud9 have been known to take games off of top tier teams. They've done it before. They've beaten Immortals before. I think they've taken a single game off of Tribe during the Summoner series, but not able to really, mount the hill at that point, right? They are not able to find that, and it's unfortunate, but Cloud9, they stumbled a little bit. It's on them to kind of pick themselves up, use the momentum of winning 2 games now, whereas Tribe, they're kind of just coasting. They're playing the exact same way we've seen them for months now.
Yeah, T-Tigers jumping back to that kind of Jack split push style is what we saw in that game 1. I think it's cool that they've fully adopted that from their time at the Horizon Cup, where that was such a prominent strategy. So let's see if Cloud9 has an answer for it this time around, because they had that wombo combo style in that game 1, and it did not work out for them. But here's the matchups. Again, reminder, Yikes is in for Tarzane for this event here for Cloud9, so they do have a player sub. Pretty exciting to see, though, still. And then, of course, the battle of Old School on Cloud9 versus his old team and Tribe, when they picked up Dienzio from Enemy. And I'm not going to lie, this new look of Tribe, I think they look even stronger than they did last year.
Yeah.
So I can't wait till we see a team to finally show up and give them a challenge.
Now, the thing that I really am so interested as a marksman player in seeing both Old School's development and kind of storyline when we went from the beginning of Summoner Series to now alongside Dienzio is that these two were kind of sitting there as the top 2 marksmen, right? Old School was always really proficient on things like the Senna and just playing Xayah as well, whereas Dienzio was that aggressive AD carry that we've come to know him as. And now that he's on Tribe, and now that they kind of swap places here where Old School is on Cloud9, I want to see if he can kind of match up to Dienzio. He's always had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder against this player in the game, and I'm hoping now he can kind of stand alongside his own and say, look, no more 580 carry bans. I'm going to smack this guy in lane. I want to win.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little out of left field, Tribe, banning away all those bot laners, but they're still on Red's side yet again here for their rematch. Let's see if the strategy is the same, or if they want to give Old School and Soma a little bit easier time. Either way, Cloud9 taking Akshan off the table.
Just making sure they can get rid of starting on those really awesome mid laners. We saw last time starting made a huge play on Akshan, where we were like, oh, they're diving under turrets? Oh no. Oh, this is a little bit suspect. He got away with that. And focusing more of the mid pool, we saw it last time. They got rid of Akshan. They got rid of Ziggs, which I think is really interesting, just because Ziggs, since the nerfs, has really kind of taken a hit in terms of priority. And I think, I wonder as we get further into the series, if they drop Ziggs, if they start to wonder, man, maybe we didn't even have to ban this champion.
Maybe not. Maybe that is the adaptation, as we talk about often in best of series, where you can change up your bans depending on what the enemy team is playing, what they're feeling hot on. But Tribe still banning away these supports. The Thresh and the Morgana were their last 2 bans, and I believe it was Varus. They closed it out, or maybe it was the Senna. I don't remember which order.
It was Varus. It was
the Varus. All right. So do they stick with it? Is it the same strategy right here? Cloud9 so far still focused more on those mid laners rather than the bottom lane. And as Blue won, they can lock in a priority pick here. Not going to be Varus. Same bans for Tribe.
Is it Camille? Right? Like, do we just instantly lock in the Camille? Do we say we want Galio first pick? So many different options here for Cloud9 as to what they want. But instead, they're going to take the Jace, which they saw starting. They were like, hey, that's a pretty good champion. I'm going to just take that for ourselves.
Yeah, started had a very good game 1 on that to start off the entire evening, playing against Diana in the mid lane. That was the matchup there, but now Cloud9 grabbing it. So Tribe see the Camille and the Galio combo. This is the danger of going for something like the Jace takeaway. Leave the combo up for Tribe.
Now, what do Cloud9 answer, right? I think Olaf hasn't had so much success, but is still an answer here, and they just take the 2 strongest potential duelists in the game immediately, taking that away from T-Tigers and picking up Fiora. So already massive amounts of physical damage, but the dueling potential of all three of these champions is insane.
And Lee Sin locked in for Tribe. Wow. Answering the call here. Looking for some early aggression. I mean, Lee Sin can do pretty well against the Jax in the jungle early on in that matchup. But yeah, you're right. The physical damage overload here from Cloud9. A lot of focus on split pushers this time around. This is the complete opposite of what their strategy was the last time against Tribe, which was more of that wombo combo. This time, it's no. Let these side laners play the game. Even if it's Yikes on that Jax, you expect that Jax to end up in a side lane eventually.
So Senna just has to be the next ban here for both teams. I don't think either of these teams really want to deal with the other person playing Senna. And I think if you allow for a really safe AD carry, Cloud9 kind of just walks all over you if you're a Tribe, right? You have some ways of keeping some of these members out. Dragon's Rage is going to be pivotal for Cloud9 if they want to try and stop Fiora and Jax. But you need also an AD carry that can keep them away, because Jax leap strikes onto you, and most AD carries just like put down the phone and they walk away. They're like, I'm already dead. So might as well.
It's actually the Kaisa adaptation from Tribe, so maybe they are setting themselves up for that Senna potentially as the red 4 pick. You can still deny it from Cloud9, but then you get to pair that with the Galio, which is a very strong combination. And you're taking old school off of the champion that he played, but I'd be surprised if it would have been a Kaisa comboed with the Fiora, Jax, and the Jace. So I'm not sure if I'm in love with that ban, but either way, it's Zed Diana ban from Cloud9. I think Tribe goes Senna here.
You know what's the fun part here is they probably should just pick their marksman here, just because like you need it and it provides for that counter pick for starting, who has a really tough question that he needs to answer. Do I want to play against Jace or do I want to play against Fiora? It's an uncommon mid lane pick, but it is like really good, and if you get rid of all of these melee assassins, not a lot of champions can answer it. This is old school. This is an old school pickup, literally.
Yeah, this is old school locking into Brand here. They needed AP somewhere, and Brand has been kind of rising in popularity in that bottom lane as one of those mages that can just farm up with the support. And they have hard engage on the Alistar. Again, I don't know if I love the overall comp coming together, but I mean, it definitely looks flashy.
At least there's an engage tank here. I was gonna be there was a bunch of question marks for me from Cloud9 is who's going in, because we've talked about how to play Jax. Do not leap strike forward. I saw Tigers do it in game 1. Wasn't the happiest camper, but they were winning. So like if you're winning, you're obviously not making any mistakes, right? But Alistar, you throw that man in. Everybody follows in on him. Alistar goes right on in. You do the headbutt pulverize. You call it a day.
But the problem that I have with it is you're going in to a taunt from the Galio, peel from the Senna, high mobility of the Lee Sin, Camille, and Ahri. And who's following up anyway? Brand can press R in some abilities, Jace can throw in a shock blast. Fiora Jax don't want to go for that kind of engage. They don't necessarily find themselves thriving in those scenarios, again, looking for the split push instead. I think Cloud9 have drafted themselves into a very split style of composition where they might want to look for like 3v3s, but then still split push around the map.
I think they have a really strong 3v3 when you look at the bot side of the map alongside their mid laner. If you have Jace with Brand and Alistar, you have two competent damage dealers right next to your engage tank. We're on the opposite side from Tribe. Senna is a very slow damage dealer. Her DPS is very, very low, whereas starting as well as this assassin. So if you can withstand the burst, if you can have Alistar tank that up or use an exhaust, then that 3v3 becomes very deadly and you can play to the split, where a lot of melee members can't deal, like this Camille, this Fiora, or this Lee Sin cannot handle someone like a Jax or a Fiora.
Cloud9 hoping for that 3v3 with the split pushers. Tribe, more standard composition. I think we must have seen this one a couple times from them, honestly. The Camille plus Galio combo, and then the rest of the champs locked in game 1 of this best of 5 grand finals. Tribe, I honestly think it's got to be a challenge of theirs. Like, can we win a tournament without dropping a game? Because they've yet to do it. I don't think that they've actually won a single full tournament without at least giving up one. So they got to have that in their sights right now.
If we're going for perfect records right now, that this is like, we're just looking for all the sprinkles right now. We're just going for every single small achievement we can to max out on completion.
Well, that's the only thing they haven't accomplished, so I wouldn't be surprised. Tigers getting aggressive onto Yikes. He lands a Sonic Wave. Not gonna go too aggressive with it though. Starting flash with the charm! Old school flashes to safety, but it's Selma that pays the price. Both go down. 2 kills over to Tribe.
Oh my god, they're learning! Tribe are learning things, Kangas. This is a breakthrough moment for North America. You can roam on wave 2. Look at this. They push in the Jace, and they immediately move. Every time that we've seen the junglers come mid, they just push the wave for their mid laner, and then walk away and go to Scuttle. Dive the bot lane, especially if it's an immobile carry like Brand. This is so awesome to see. That's so exciting. Oh my god, this just gave me a fresh breath of life instantly.
That's hopium. That's hopium for next Rising Cup, everybody. That is Tribe showing off a very aggressive style that we saw a lot of international teams do things like that, roaming around these early timing windows. And Tribe, one of the slower teams of the tournament, wasn't quite at that level. But now with that lead that they've gotten, a couple kills under the belt,
doing it again.
They're also under this turret again. Now the engage comes through actually from Cloud9, flash out from Selma. There's Cloud9 that thought they had an angle in there.
A critical flash. If he doesn't go for that flash right there, Tigers... Does Tigers have ultimate? Did he not put a point in his ultimate?
Oh, he doesn't?
Oh... We might have to... I'm definitely going to have to talk to him about that after this
That's
one.
interesting. Yeah, that could have changed that play.
The enemy doesn't know that, though. They don't know that he doesn't have a point of his ultimate. They just... They think he does.
Ooh, Chuck actually in some trouble right now. Yikes and Zello getting aggressive, but yikes! Pays the price because T-Tigers is nearby. T-Tigers is everywhere the map that landed! Oh, that was some BS rain right there, but T-Tigers picks up the double kill as now Max Green engage onto Selma. Oh! Dienzio through the support lands the damage.
Look at that. He didn't even need ultimate. If you're even... I wish we could see some of the chat just from the players, just because I know one of the team members on Tribe is definitely spamming Lee Sin ult up available. I would too. Just because, like, he didn't have ult for all of those plays. Gets a double kill in the Baron lane after getting a really nice flash away from the Alistar, taking away some of their ability to make plays down there. T-Tigers is all over the map, and as their early game vehicle in almost all of their wins is exactly what you like to see, talking about the blueprint for Tribe success.
And when Tribe gets these leads, rarely do they give them up. So already in a really good position. Dienzio has to flash away. Contesting what you need to. But, oh, it looks like mid lane's dead. Niels is already out of the fight here. As the rest of Tribe can now converge onto the dragon. Through into the tri-bush right now, diving so deep. That was a really good engagement for Selma, trying to turn it around, but just not meant to be. Old school in trouble here throughout the ultimate. Didn't do enough damage. Only gets the shutdown, but it does stop that dragon take.
And now that they're so far behind in the early game here, the deficit or the leads that they should be expecting from some of their laning matchups are just going to dissipate. Starting is playing Ahri how you're supposed to play Ahri. Everybody in North America, please play this champion like an assassin. We talked about it when we came off of Horizon Cup, and we're not going to stop because this champion is so much better when you're playing it aggressively, looking for picks, forcing missteps from your opponent. And this is why you dive on wave 2, you go for roams, and you find more and more kills to set your team up with gold advantages. It is a Rift Herald here, and you see that Cloud9, their bot lane, has started up this dragon. But unless the rest of the members, if they can keep them away, this could be a double objective here, potentially.
Cloud9 are on the dragon, and they have more members than Tribe. I don't know if Tribe actually need to go for this. They throw out the charm, but it hits the dragon. They haven't found the engage. Max Green goes for one. Dragon is secure by Cloud9, but can they win the fight after? Chuck with the engage onto Yikes. That's one down for Cloud9. And Tribe don't get the objective steal, but at least they clean something up after.
They're going to continue for this dive. They're going to wait for this wave to be pushed up. Dienzio, you're a little bit far up, bud.
Yeah, that was ambitious, but the charm lands. It's going to be traded back. Tribe, they still did it. Oh, starting. That was dangerous.
Brand damage is nothing to laugh at. He killed him! Oh! He got Chuck! Chuck tried to walk it off! You're not a cool guy in this situation. You got to look at the explosion, bud. Oh.
Wow, I mean, yeah, brand damage is nothing to scoff at, everybody. Still, though, 11-3 on the scoreboard and a 3,000 gold lead over to Tribe. I think that they're feeling in a comfortable spot. The one saving grace right now for Cloud9, Zello has had a little bit of time to kind of equalize the lead that Camille had gotten with those kills and assists earlier, and Cloud9 also finding a pick right now. Starting out of position, but Max Green Tries to provide some backup. We didn't have the pulverize from Selma, so he doesn't stop the taunt. And
Everyone's here.
Old School's here. The Heralds drop topside, though. Tribe, they're happy with this right now. They can take a turret.
They need to keep going. Cloud9, you only have one option here. You have a Rift Herald here in the top lane. Zello's not going to be able to match this wave play between the two of you. They could have kept going.
They have T-Tigers here. Zello has to flash, and the Herald throws himself at that turret just to play it.
I think there's a really real situation where they could have potentially traded for a tier 2, but Cloud9, they want to hedge their bets. They don't want to risk it. It would have been a one where they'd constantly have to kind of play very carefully, and Cloud9 already seeing themselves at a disadvantage. They don't want to take any unnecessary risks. They want to go for the closer to 60-40s, maybe 50-50s, something more in their favor. But Tribe, like, the thing is now, Lee Sin is a very viable assassin threat at this point. Black Cleaver, Youmuu's done, has a lot of gold in his back pocket. He will just one-shot any squishy member that isn't named Jax.
And Yikes is just... that is specifically named Jax. Yikes is not having the greatest performance on this. You want to power farm, you want to get into that side lane. We've yet to see Yikes accomplish either of those tasks. Now T-Tigers roaming very quickly here.
Oh, nice
Nicely
route.
done right there from Zello, actually dodging out of the charm. Yikes almost gets onto starting, almost turns it around, but almost ain't close enough. That's Tribe getting out safely.
Zello being able to withstand that gank is so important. If he goes down there, they've already committed 2 members. They more than likely lose out on that, and they could go for more from Tribe as they have Galio sitting in mid lane ready to use the ultimate. They can even start up another dive here, but I think Cloud9, do they really want to contest this?
Taunt in onto Zello. Oh, Max Screen. Very far forward. Has to flash to safety, and all of Tribe now disengaging that one. A little over eager. I like the attempt, but execution could have been cleaner. Either way, though, Wheels flashes! Gets the kill on a Max Green, can still stay alive. Dienzio exhausted, in a lot of trouble now. T-Tigers messing up the kick, not finding much for it. Oh, and Zello's still alive. Finally falls down, but the stun lands onto starting. Spear rush,
he's dead.
Safety. Oh, back no! Starting, you were so close. Rampage for Old School.
It looked like a little bit of a misplay because we saw the Jace Gulf Swing come out and then Alistar headbutted Dienzio away, and I was a little bit worried there for how they played that out. I think Meals is just dead, caught chopping in base. See you later, bud. That is right before the second Rift Herald spawns. Important death there for Tribe. It may actually just completely get them back into this game. They were looking at a pretty serious, stranglehold that Cloud9 could have started up there, but with Rift Herald there, they're going to split the map. Good to let Tigers start up this Rift Herald by himself. Delay the dragon as long as you can.
Cloud9 have some damage on it. Old School's nearby. He has the ultimate. If Cloud9 want this fight, they can play with this Fed brand right now, but instead they're still focused on the dragon. Teleport coming through. Selma just playing bodyguard. Dragon secured. Turn onto the fight. Taunt used. Max Screen no longer has that available. T-Tigers drops the Herald mid instantly. You can tell that Tribe, their focus is on these turrets.
They're getting pushed right now. Cloud9 are accurately pinpointing their weaknesses and assessing it, constantly fighting where Tribe are a little bit weaker. They know there's a little bit of a numbers disadvantage, and Tribe, they can't force it. They're trying to play Fog of War. Cloud9 call their bluff. They get the dragon. They lose out on that mid-tier 1. We'll have to see how important that is as the game continues, but Zello is having a really, really good game right now on this Fiora. Absorbing ganks, not dying, and he's constantly able to find something on the trade, so really impressive stuff, and that is a lever that hasn't really been able to be pulled recently.
Yeah, don't let the 0-2 stat line, make you think that Zello isn't impactful in this game. Zello definitely pulling his weight right now. Old School, oh no, into the red buff. Oh no! Done from Selma, but actually it pushes him away from the damage of Old School. Maybe not at the end of the day. I'm about half health.
They want to fight this.
Want a hard commit right now. Old School has the ultimate still available if he wants to throw it out here. Just waiting for the right angle.
They wanted to go for that. You saw how Chuck used the hook shot aggressively, wanted to just try and find something with the Hextech ultimatum, but is unable to lock up anybody in that case. Oh, and T-Tigers just very carefully. Selma with 2 critical fails on the Alistar combo. Misses out on 2 potential kills there for Cloud9. So recently the Alistar play, look, Alistar is hard. I've tried to play this champion on Wild Rift. My hands are broken every time I try to do it. You should have seen me try to play Gragas. It was a little rough.
It's harder the closer you are because you have less time to input correctly.
Yes.
And Selma was right next to starting at that point. So, and also I think the charm might have interrupted the pulverize anyway. There's a lot of stuff that was going on there, but if you can find the right engage with Old School's damage, Cloud9 are still in this game. It's dead even in gold, but Cloud9 are up 2 dragons, so stat-wise, they actually have a slight edge.
And they have a huge wake up here for Cloud9. We're looking at this. They've got Blade of the Ruin King, Trinity Force ready on both of their split push carries, Jax and Zello. Zello just popped Ignite. He's killing Chuck.
Oh, he's going all in. 1v1. Oh, Chuck! Grand Challenge issued, and Chuck gets the safety of turret. Very close margins.
Yeah, if Zello had gone for another first ability there, that dash hits the turret every single time and potentially would have resulted in a death. No Hextech Ultimatum again here from Chuck, so constantly applying pressure on the side lane. Camille cannot match the Fiora right now, and unless they're able to find this kill onto Meals, Tribe are now in a sticky situation, Kangas.
I actually think that they're losing the side lane. I don't think that Chuck, especially with Merc Treads picked up instead of the plated steel caps, can deal with this Fiora at this stage of the game. And even Cloud9 realizing that, they now send up Zello into this top side of the map. That's where the Baron is spawning here shortly. Chuck dodging out on Yikes' engage there. And that's the next question I have is, where's Yikes going to be? I still haven't seen the Jax quite show up in the split push scenario as much as Zello's been trying.
The thing to note about Yikes right now and where they're kind of positioning Cloud9, Yikes has constantly been sitting in Fog of War, playing a little bit in the river. He's playing River Jax at this point, where he's able to help out his Brand and Alistar push out waves, but as soon as they're able to get priority in mid, goes to sit in Fog and waits for someone to either walk into him, or goes to at least cover and force Tribe to say, okay, well, they're missing a member, where is he? Oh, he was leaning towards bot side, well, now we may have to reinforce it with a few more members. So now they have first say on the Drake, and this entire time Fiora's answering on the side lane. So
they're 1v1ing, but there's a fight down here at the Dragon. That's one. Yikes, just blown up to start that one off. Tribe, they find the pick.
Wait, and Fiora lost the 1v1. She's super low, had to pick up a honey fruit on the way out. But that's a massive win for Tribe. It stops them from getting the Dragon for Cloud9. And now they could potentially look for it themselves 20 seconds before Yikes' spawn. And he has Stasis, so he'd have to sell his boots, pick up another boot, get Teleport Enchant. And that's a lot to ask for. Teleport here for Fiora available. I wonder if they just try to focus down mid lane instead. But Tribe, they find one pick and they find the Dragon.
They get the Dragon. They still have control over all lanes. This is all good news for Tribe. Even T-Tigers didn't pop the Guardian Angel during all of that. They can probably turn this into a bottom turret immediately after. Driver just accelerating what was an even game state very quickly into a lead.
It took one mistake from the side of Cloud9 and for Tribe to immediately capitalize on it and put themselves back in a little bit of a lead. It's not a commanding one. They still have to answer on the side lane. And we've seen it. We've seen glimpses of it. We've seen Chuck able to almost win against Fiora. But it's a dangerous spot to be in, Kangas. I don't think this game is quite over, and it's not like other games we've seen from Tribe where it's just long done and dusted. They still have to fight for this victory here.
This is actually the hardest I've seen Tribe have to work in quite a while. Zello, the side lane, teleport in from Meals. Charm lands there. Zello very low on health, issues the Grand Challenge, taking some damage here. Meals trying to get out. T-Tigers with the flash kick combo. Meals has to flash away, but straight into the Galio, attempts to trade one back, and will go down. Pays for the sins of Zello in that side lane.
And look at this. I mean, Yikes is still split pushing. They traded in one for the other. It's like trading in a new car for an old car for a new one. Jax comes in, he clears out the wave. They lose another turret there, so I hope the kills are worth it, baby, because
Old School,
Cloud9, they're fighting back.
Onto Zio. Old School's taking damage, pops the stasis. T-Tiger's just waiting for him. Oh, he's not going to find it. Beautiful positioning from Selma, just standing directly in front of Old School. Waiting for their cooldowns to come back. That's a knock-up. That's Guardian Angel for T-Tigers. The re-engage from Yikes, trying to get onto the backline. Starting, though, has the charm. Stasis. Yikes flashes. Onto... Oh, my goodness. He gets starting. Yikes, that was insane. I can't even begin to understand how fast you had to input those right at the exact moment. but Cloud9 are still in this, Elk.
Yikes. No mana, no problems. He's like, okay, cool. I'll just auto-attack you. My name is Jax, by the way. Gets the Guardian Angel off. The stasis is huge in terms of that. And a close fight for both teams, still even in gold. It was back and forth. You talked about the positioning to try and stop T-Tigers. I was holding my breath there for old school. This man was like, please do not hit me with Sonic Wave. I don't feel like dying right now, guys. Ends up living. And that entire time, we got to see both teams finally firing on all cylinders, but it just means that they all come back. The summoner spells are going to be utilized, but Tribe, they're still finding themselves at a small deficit just because they can't answer side lanes as fast as someone like Cloud9 can.
The gold graph for this game about to look like a calm pond, everybody. Just ebbs and flows, barely dipping and rising. It's been
going to be the
so
best kitty ride
dead
ever.
even. As Tribe looking for this Baron now. Cloud9 will have to answer, but they're taking it so fast. It's already almost half health. They're not committing though. They want to use this as bait.
They want to pick.
Find a pick. They want. Yikes! Right there. Guardian Angel will go down.
But look, they're just trading mid.
They're going mid. Cloud9 are just hard forcing right now. Tribe, they get a kill. They get a pick, but what will it cost? Selma flashing, trying to stop the backs.
Good.
Stops one. Chuck will still make it, but that is an inhibitor turret down.
Huge punish there for them. Selma not going to be able to lock this one out. Activates the ultimate. Just barely gets taken out under his turret. And, I mean, Tribe, they played that incredibly sloppily. They got their vision. They tried to clear all the vision in the river, but they didn't clear it inside the pit. So the entire time, Cloud9, they have vision of them. They know when that Baron's being taken.
Oh, no.
Chuck's able to 1v1. Zello ignites Wait.
Does he? Does he actually win it, though? I don't know. Let's take a look.
Headset defenses.
Zello 1v1ing Chuck. I can't believe Chuck didn't go back in there. Maybe Riposte is back off cooldown, but again, Tribe, they're on the Baron. They're just taking him on 1v1. Oh, old school with the flash.
Old school wins.
He gets one. He still gets one. Tribe can't get the Baron.
Oh my god, and it's 50 seconds here, Kangas. We're 18.5 minutes in. If anybody dies, you're waiting an extended minute almost to try and come back. You're looking at the entire map in grayscale for a bit. And that was a super close fight on both margins, both in the 1v1s and in the team fights. Multiple members having blinking HP bars. Excellent call from Cloud9 to punish the Baron. They're going to start up Elder, but like, you still have TP coming in from Zello here. Both of the Baron laners are not going to be here. It's going to be Zello first to the play.
Zello TP deep, has a flank right now, but has a back off. T-Tigers sees it, and everybody.
Who's flanking who?
They're jumping back here right now. Teleport in from Meals as well. Cloud9 are ready to contest this dragon. Oh, Yikes
this is
just
the
got
worst
Wits End.
part of.
Yikes backs for Wits End.
This is the worst part of the anime, where like both of the characters are so overpowered that they're just like constantly teleporting behind each other, and it's just like constant back and forth. But we're gonna get the 1v1 Kangas. No Baron laners have TP, and Chuck is just going for the wave. He doesn't know what to do. He's getting zoned off by Fiora.
They're on it right now. Fiora has to watch for this Camille though. The Camille could land a 6 right now. That's damage. We do see Chuck in some trouble
Flash
here.
out.
Half health. Use the flash. But the Dragon's still the focus for Tribe. They're taking it very slow. It's just the Senna. Engage comes through. Nicely done for Max Screen to try and buy some space right now. Yikes jumps in, trying to get onto these carries. That's a brand down. Old School and Meals have both fallen. But I think Cloud9 still have it. I think they can still do this. They get one. They're going to take down two as T-Tigers goes into the GA again. A triple kill to Yikes. Have Cloud9 done it? Have they actually taken down Tribe in game one of a best of 5? They are on the precipice.
And something we talked about in their last series, the 80 carries weren't hitting. D'Anzio got forced to flash over the wall, so he's just sitting there like, guys, I can't do anything. I don't have ultimate. I can't use my first ability. An inhibitor's going to go down to minions. Tribe, they're getting way too sloppy. They're getting dizzy now from all of the punches that Cloud9 are throwing at them. And they've now down 2 inhibitors. The constant pressure from that earlier play on the Baron is catching up. The sloppy mistakes from Tribe are mounting into a success here for Cloud9. They got the Cloud Drake. They're able to 2-man the Baron. And now all of them coming off of resets, they are empowered to come back right onto the Rift and end this game in a victory.
It will take a miracle for Tribe to close this one out. They're against Soul. They're against Baron. They have supers mid and top. We've seen Tribe do some crazy things, but usually it's with a lead. Can they do the crazy thing when they're this far behind. Cloud9, they just got to play it just safe, play it good, play it clean for one more team fight. And this can be your game. You can be up in a series against Tribe to start off this grand finals. That would be momentum.
They're riding that high, coming in from all the way from almost losing game 2 versus Uzar. Oh, no, no,
he looks
no.
for a flank, but he only found the tanks,
went in.
and the tanks are doing damage. Look at that. That's so much burst on the T-Tigers and Max screen. Now the rest of the Tribe, they're forced to look for the fight starting. Can you output the DPS? You got to watch for Zello now joining in, looking at the flank. The brand damage is huge. A double kill for Old School, and Cloud9 have done it. They've finally taken down Tribe, and they will move up 1-0 in this best of 5.
Old School, he's like, I will take a free win against my old team. Y'all were disrespecting me in bot lane. You thought you couldn't dive me on level 2? Well, guess what? We're just going to win the game. We played that excellently, and it was the true resilience of their team coming through. Cloud9, yikes, it was looking a little bit dicey, right? We talked about that one pick that ended up being an objective for them. You thought it was going to be a calm pond, but this kind of just looks like coming out from the ocean. You've got your little hills. You got right into the mountains from the ocean side. Tribe, we were talking about them having a lead and very rarely throwing it. Well, Kangas, they found the 1%.
I honestly totally forgot when I made that statement. The Tribe were 4,000 ahead at one point in the game. That's how long that game was. Over 22 minutes. And Cloud9 mount the comeback. I want to give props to Old School. I want to give props to Selma. Mad props to the bot lane here for Cloud9. Old School doing insane damage. And Selma without just the insane peel, keeping Old School alive to actually output that damage. And then Yikes actually coming back. He was 0-3 at one point. Alk, he had 7-6.
He's looking fantastic. This is the carry jungler that we had kind of been looking forward to coming off of his Immortals. Yeah, I would say that that's about normal for Brand. Brand had a really hard job to do this game, right? You see how many assassins are in that backline, and you're just, as a Brand, you're saying, guys, if I get one ultimate off, that's good enough. Like that's basically what I'm needed to do, and that's all I'm going to be able to do in a fight. But more and more of this front line, the Alistar is there to prevent the rest of the team from interacting with him, and without Chuck finding flanks, without Ari able to do anything, Brand just sits there wailing away with spells constantly.
Does a lot of damage AoE to the entire enemy team. And I mean, honestly, there was a lot of I think reservation coming in from Cloud9 as well. They played patiently when they were at a deficit. We saw Zello constantly pushing for the sidelines. Didn't even get a kill at the end of the game. But still, at so many individual moments, you could see when that Fiora was in the sideline, drawing pressure to that side of the map to stop things like Dragon, to stop things like that Baron from going down. And Tribe were just never able to actually find that chokehold.
It was really important for Tribe. I think it was really important for Tribe after killing bot lane, after going for that level 2 jive, to then rotate and kind of bail Chuck out of the laning phase. Just because it didn't go poorly for him, but if that Fiora is not checked in any kind of way, if there's no checks and balances for her, you will just lose like we just saw. You will get pulled around the map and unable to answer. Good luck trying to find a victory in that game. It is so difficult with the team composition you have ahead of yourself. So next time, if this is another matchup where we're going to see a split push style carry coming out from Cloud9's Baron lane and jungle, you need to make sure that you're sending your now strong laners to kind of assess and deal with that problem there.
Now, before this game started, Alk, I believe somebody made a tweet and added a certain organization, questioning what they do when they show up against certain members of a team. I think Cloud9 likes that tweet. Did they interact with it? I don't know.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. They never interact with any of my tweets. Don't got to worry about that one. It's okay.
Interesting.
Even if I tag them.
All of Tribe interacted. Looks like it.
It's a good picture, though. Don't lie.
They're a pretty great picture. If anybody's wondering,
those are old pictures.
Check out at AlkBattery on Twitter to see some very old competitive pictures of D'Enzio and starting. But I didn't think that we would be in this position. Alk, no. Cloud9 up 1-0. Now, it is, of course, the best of 5. I don't want to get too excited for the Cloud9 boys in blue because, of course, there's always, you got to win 2 more. You have to win. You have to pull it off 2 more times. And Tribe is a difficult team to do that against, but Tribe still denied the perfect sweep here. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, it looked like they were a little out of sorts when it came to that mid and late game.
They may have been trying a few things. The Ari
So,
lends credence to me that they were trying some things. That's not a typical starting champion, and I'm sure if you kind of read between the lines, they may have been like, if we can play, like we're playing a best of 5, we could try a few things. We could try the Ari. Let's just try it, and if it doesn't work, we'll go back to some other stuff that we've been playing. We'll go back to the Diana if it's not banned, some of the other starting champions. So a little bit of cope there if you're a Tribe fan. You're like, yeah, it's fine. We're not going to lose. It's cool.
The thing I wanted to highlight, though, is that I don't think I can't recall at least a moment where we saw the Camille and Galio combo, where Chuck was able to actually jump onto old school, have Galio go in as well. So that's more what I'm looking at, is when it comes to those mid to late game, it was often T-Tigers trying to find a flank, T-Tigers trying to be the one to go for a play, and just Chuck alone in a side lane dealing with Fiora. Now, a lot of that does lend credence to Zello and him drawing that pressure, but Tribe, if you're in those situations, I still want to see them use the combos that they've drafted for themselves.
That is the duo synergy that we've seen basically for the last 8 months from Tribe, right? It has just been T-Tigers is their vehicle. It doesn't matter if he's playing Lee Sin, doesn't matter if he's playing Jax. In the early game, and if they need to have a go button, him and Max Green are going to be the ones to look to engage, and it is on the other carries in your AD carry, your mid lane, and your Baron laner to then follow up. That is the synergies that they have set forth. They have not really played to top lane in a very long time, and Max Green doesn't tend to link up with Chuck like we saw with Selma and Zello. So, like, in the future, this is something that we'll have to look as we get further into the series, and what I want to note is, you know, the support matchup, because we got to see Selma on this Alistar, and he looks fantastic, and we got to see another game of Max Green on Galio to a little bit of a lesser effect.
Max Green's first game was insane, but yeah, this time around, he wasn't quite finding the same engages or the same peel options, most importantly. A lot of that is because Zella would show up, or Yikes would show up to the fight so much later. So, like, Galio's cooldowns are up, so you can't really do anything at that point. A lot of question marks going into this next draft, because obviously draft is something that you can look at from that first game and say, from Tribe's perspective, okay, was it an issue with the champions that we locked in for ourselves, things like starting on the Ari, maybe not something he's known for, or was it an in-game decision-making thing that we could fix up and draft was fine, run it back? I think still they're going to ban a lot of AD carries, though. I think the plan is get old school off of comfort picks.
They're sticking with these bans as well, by the way. They are saying we are okay with banning the exact same things back to back to back. Galio's the one that finally changes it up. Maybe this is the Ziggs ban that I've been kind of hoping and praying for goes away. I really think the Ziggs priority should be pretty low on this patch. The champion just has way too many mana problems. They kind of fixed that, because before, Ziggs would just throw out bombs and you wouldn't have to worry about mana because they were pretty cheap, and he had a lot of mana regeneration in his kit from the build. You didn't have to worry about it, but now get rid of that, and they get to open themselves up for a Jace ban here.
Interesting. So what I like about this is, actually, they already banned away the Galio. I was gonna say what I like here is they don't have to blue one the Jace now, and they can take either the Galio or the Camille. But now I'm wondering what their priority blue one is. Do they want to take the Lee Sin? Is this like Yikes saying, all right, get T-Tigers off of that? You gotta respect, Alk. Ooh, okay, Varus is up. I could maybe even go to that.
Yeah, it's either Varus or Camille. Camille has just been instant pro for a lot of teams. So now what Tribe can do is they can pick Varus, or they can just pick up like a jungle top lane matchup. Like, they can go for Jax Lee Sin, they can go for Jax Gragas, they can even go for another support pick, I think, for Max Green if they really want. Tribe, I don't know about this one, bud. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Cloud9, they can slam Jax right here, and you are the saddest little Yordle and Darkin spawn I've seen.
A lot of range still that they're playing with here. And I guess that's the name of the game. It's kind of like a poke comp, if you want to call it that, here in Wild Rift. Cloud9, they go for more engage options. So Camille plus the Orianna Rakan combo. These are two champions that I would call ball delivery systems for the Orianna. So they say, all right, we're just going to dive onto your long-range champs without a lot of self-peel.
Interesting. we're avoiding Jax like the plague out here, Kangas. No team wants to pick him. We're like, we are not dealing with this. Cloud9 have a really strong engage, but they are lacking a little bit of damage in my opinion. They are going to need something to kind of supplement that. I'm always confused about Yasuo because we're seeing Yasuo bans here and there in this series, and I don't know how serious like that ban is.
Well, I mean, like the wind wall kind of shuts down Ziggs and Varus. I do actually understand it if you're trying to play this poke comp.
And again, we talked about this earlier, but the ability to play mages, we've seen old school on Orianna. We just saw him on Brand. So this is still a viable flex for them and still can kind of withstand some of the poke onslaught that you would receive from something like the Varus. So now, with more topside focus here, Kangas, support pool is opened up. Tribe, they can leave themselves for an R5 here.
They could, yeah, and Cloud9 opting to ban the Jax themselves, rather than going for that as their own jungler option right now. And they ban away Nunu, so really focusing on T-Tigers, the champ pool. Lee Sin would be that kind of next pick that he would go into. But yeah, I mean, they don't really have a great like red 5 counter because they're already showing the Darius and the Ziggs. So I imagine that those are going into the lanes that you'd expect them to.
Yeah, this is probably an Alistar. If it's not Alistar, it may be like Leona.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it. Braum is a more passive version of this. We've seen this matchup a lot. We've talked about like the Braum Rakan matchup, but like against Orianna, it's good because it'll stop the ball, and you can play frontline versus Camille. It just makes it kind of disincentivizes Cloud9 from picking more marksmen that have a lot of heavy projectiles. Something like a Xayah, this stops.
Yeah. I just think that now Cloud9 seeing this, like, they can just pick more melee champs. Like, they don't have to worry too much. Still just dive the Varus, dive the Ziggs, and that's what they're going for. Full dive composition here. Everybody wants to make this a not fun day for starting Andy Enzio.
You are not playing side lanes, boys. Cloud9, they've given themselves still strong teamfight tools. Even though you have really good solo laners you can play for here, you can still go for side lane with Aurelia, with this Diana as well. And it looks like Tribe, they've gone for something that T-Tigers has tried to force into the meta, try to make his own kind of stamp on, and it's the Vi. It's a mixed success.
Mixed, for sure. I mean, it has shown promise. It's shown that what it can do very well is lock down one target and then blow them up, especially when you combo with the Varus Ziggs. They can throw out their range projectiles onto whoever Vi is ulting onto, and boom, you blow them up. But you have 3 key threats to try and peel here. Aurelia, Camille, and Diana. All 3 of them, theoretically, if they get on top of your Ziggs or your Varus and they don't have flash available, they're going to die. So I don't know if it's going to be enough if Cloud9 play this well. Maybe the name of the game for Tribe is look for picks. If they can actually pick members out or poke them out around objectives, let the melees go to the dragon first, and then throw your abilities at them while they're in the pit. That's another angle they could take.
It's entirely how they set up team fights, right? We haven't seen Chuck go for these flanks. Zello has been more proactive about trying to play against not only Chuck in the 1v1, but also playing to try to attack the backline of Tribe. So look at how many mobile members. If you're Ziggs, you've got one satchel bomb to try and stop Rakan, Diana, Camille, and Aurelia, which is kind of a tough ask. And if you're D'Enzio, you're hoping and praying one flash is enough to get you out of danger, out of dodge.
You're hoping that they just kind of forget that you exist. You know, I am not a threat. I'm not going to hit you with any abilities, and you won't hit me, right? That's the agreement here between the assassins and the ranged damage carries here. Tribe hoping that they can win this one, because I'm not going to lie, I'm liking Cloud9's draft. I'm actually favoring them here so far, and that means that we could be looking at a 2-0 lead for them.
They still have to go for the 50-50. They still have to blow up the Nexus. These are important terms of engagement when it comes to playing in Wild Rift. But they are I think they are heavily favored. One thing to watch, what does Max Green do on this Braum? Braum is going to have such an important role to play when it comes to stopping Cloud9's engage as the melee champion, as the Braum versus all three of the top side for Cloud9. It is going to be on him to provide insane glacial fissures and set up a lot of stuns for his team to stop these guys from blowing up their backline.
Already we're seeing people group up around this bottom river too. We could get an early scrap for the Scuttle Crab, but instead it's a focus of the mid lane. Yikes, throws out the engage, but Starting does dodge it, and that means that is a Scuttle secured for T-Tigers. Starting, Max Green, both walking up here. They're going to contest Yikes on the top Scuttle as well.
Yeah, me fight. Take away both Scuttles. It's good. I mean, it helps them for a little bit here. It gives T-Tigers a little bit of an advantage. Small experience lead there as he's going to start to do his top quadrant of the game. But, I mean, Zello, you should know this is happening, bud.
Yeah, and hits the follow duet onto Chuck. Walks back to turret. He's fine.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous one. Selma goes in, exhaust down.
Oh, starting very low right now. Meals! With first blood secured. Still alive, too. Max Green can't even get the damage. And Dienzio not in range to hit that arrow. Nicely done from Cloud9.
Oh, really, really tight call there, too. Because, I mean, Meals, he goes in with that third ability. And it just barely one auto attack. The empowered auto attack from the passive takes down Starting. A good row, making better use of his timer here.
Max
as
Green.
Rakan.
Oh, he didn't have exhaust. I thought maybe Max Green was in trouble there, but he's fine.
He's making good on it. They're going to continue to fight this.
Oh, T-Tigers, what are you doing up there? Invading. Maybe looking for a dive. I don't even know what the game plan was. Does not work out how Tribe was planning.
It completely backfires there. And Cloud9, really good timers. Yet again, Cloud9 playing on good spacing around what Tribe wants to do. He's already pathing towards topside. Tribe, they try to dive on a wave that Chuck had tried to set up, but it's not enough as enemy team is there, locks him up. Yikes, punishes the play. And Kangas, I don't know what happened. Game one of our the first game of our Wilder Fight Night may have been a fluke. It may have been Cloud9 just getting home from school, and they're like, okay, all right, first game of the day, get those jitters out. But they look calm, clean, determined. I wonder, we'll have to ask later, but I wonder how much effect their coaching staff has on this, because so far they're playing clean.
Tarzane's going to be watching this VOD sweating right now like, oh no. They were able to beat Tribe with Yikes as a substitute in here. And now the rest of Cloud9.
That's a paraphrase.
Grouping up around this dragon. Looking for it for themselves here. I don't think Tribe can contest this. They're walking like they want to, though. Sending Chuck all the way from the top lane. And Yikes goes for the engage. Instead, focus out onto T-Tigers. He's very low right now. Vi's out of the fight. Vi is dead, but I think Tribe have done the damage. Chuck flashes forward. Chuck doesn't get the reset. Old School bleeding down. Zello has to go back in just to try and get the double kill and finds it. But a double kill to Dienzio regardless, and Tribe do win the fight.
Wait, Yikes is alive. There's no jungler.
Oh, but he doesn't get in.
He's gonna flash for it.
Flash. Way too early, though. Maybe kills Dienzio. Doesn't get the smite. Down to about 10 health on the dragon.
Oh, that was so close there, and it was looking dicey. And Tribe, they get to do what they want to do here, which is they start up the dragon. T-Tigers, you have to feel like they know here, right? Like, now all the members are going to be able to enter this pit. You don't have flash. There's a lot of key ultimates missing for both teams, so this could just be a staring match as we're waiting for more members to reinforce the area.
And again, Tribe, they have the range. They have this Ziggs to look for damage. Old School can't even go in there because he's already taken too much poke. Like, look at how low Old School is just from Ziggs poke and one Winter's Bite. Tribe have full control over this Rift Herald. And they also have push in the mid lane. Selma might just... Oh, very close right there. Tribe, nicely done to stabilize the game state.
It's so close right there that they're playing on margins, and it took one team fight, Kangas. This was one where Cloud9 were in the lead. It took one team fight where they're now down 2,000. They lost the Infernal Drake, which is a huge boon, as well as the Rift Herald now in the back pocket of T-Tigers, who is not having a fantastic game and will try to use this to catapult themselves back into the lead. So, a really interesting game to start, and Cloud9, they don't have any ways of they don't have any lacking ways of starting up a team fight, so hopefully they can try to fix this, and these might just be some mid-game jitters.
Maybe it's instead now pivot towards more of a split push style. You do still have 3 kills onto Zello. Could look to 1v1 the Darius, but Tribe, they just hard commit. Yep, there's the classic. Vi locks him down, Ziggs provides the damage, and Herald drop mid too.
And this should just be an instant tier 1 taken down. You throw the Hextech Satchel. He actually doesn't have enough mana for it. Are they going to try and dive this onto Yikes? It's pretty dangerous, all things considered.
They haven't gotten the turret. They took way too long on the
top
turret.
Fight.
T-Tigers is going to die. Oh, wait. Starting actually killed Old School there. As now Meals looks to 1v1 onto Dienzio. That's barrier pop. That's Dienzio winning the 1v1.
Too much damage taken from Meals. Zello dies in the Baron lane as well during that entire time. Thank you to production for the picture-in-picture there. They just got so much extra gold in their back pocket. They're going to be able to revisit this as well. And if they want, Ziggs now is the MVP of the game. Because now you can move Ziggs into top lane, destroy that turret immediately. You can then move into the Baron lane, or into the Dragon lane, and start to whittle away at that and start to take a tier 1, as well as utilizing the ultimate for global pressure. Ziggs becomes the most important piece here for Tribe.
Doing so much damage from so far away with so much safety. And I mean, like, it's 2 threats. It's not like, okay, yeah, just lock down one of them. Now with this deficit here, Cloud9 are facing a very uphill battle. They'll need to get onto 2 members that can be very far away, and Brahm's job became so much easier now that really only Aurelia is the threat. I mean, Diana 1 and 2, Yikes 1 and 1, neither of them very far accelerated. Now
and Aurelia lost the 1v1 now too,
Yikes
so
is dead.
say goodbye, boys.
Yeah, and that's a reset, so maybe even more kills to come through here. Flash forward from Chuck. Does he have another
he's dead.
He's just going for it. Double kill to Chuck. Selma under turret. He will fall. Tribe Gaming, they're back.
Oh my god, and they're just smashing now after losing the Baron play. Meals? Are they playing on HP bars?
Okay. I don't know what the play was here, but...
Alright, GG, boys. GG.
Alright, yeah, Tribe Gaming are so far ahead.
So I get the idea there, where Meal sees 2 members at 20 to 15% HP. That's a free kill right there. However, Max Green still has Exhaust, which just means as a melee champion, you are sad. You have entered the sad state. So at that point now, like, Meals has already tried to 1v1 Dienzio and lost, has now tried to make a comeback play, and is now in a massive deficit up against starting, where Yikes now has to play incredibly aggressive. I like this, linking up with Selma. Chuck and Max Green, we're talking about this duo not being a popular one for a Tribe, but Max Green knows that Chuck is the play right now.
But Dragon is the play for Tribe. Like, they're just going to get a free objective right now, and the dive doesn't even land here. I think Tribe win this. Chuck wins this right now. Nobody's landing abilities. Chuck is still alive. Meals is under turret. 4v2! And they're going to trade kills. Max Green missed the Winter's Bite, but Yikes should fall right there. He doesn't even kill Max Green. It's a win for Tribe. Are you kidding me?
Oh no, it's heartbreaking too, because Old School, he's gonna have to look at his old teammates run him down, starting, hit him with the last auto attack. Later. It's a triple kill for starting. And it started off, as soon as you see the Orianna ult miss, it's just Heartbreak City for Cloud9. They're not able to land any of their abilities, there's no dive coming in from Meals. So they stop them from taking that turret. They get the Rift Herald. They get 5 kills. And this game was looking good for Cloud9. Operative word being was.
Yep. Now it's looking a little doomed. Comedy of errors there for that dive. Many skill shots missed. Chuck with the smooth movements. You got dancing shoes on here. Now the Tribe, they can just walk this lead up. This is a Rift Herald being dropped onto the tier 2 turret. That could be an inhibitor turret at 11 minutes in the game. They have more gold.
Oh, and they saved the charge too?
Yeah, they have a full charge right now. Like, we're not even 11 minutes in, and it's a 13,000 gold lead. That's over 1,000 a minute.
It's huge. And now look at this. Ziggs constantly pressuring mid lane. They didn't get the charge in the inhibitor turret. So good job from Cloud9 to stop that, but it's on this next couple waves that they can come into mid lane and just immediately slam this turret. Chuck will now prep this next wave in the Dragon lane. And if they come off of a reset, Tribe will just take control of this map. So Cloud9, they still have engage tools. They still have some wombo that they can try to leverage to find wins. But it's just a little bit harder now, right? You do have to deal with some level advantages, some gold advantages that are being sought in individual members. And Yikes is now starving to find any gold.
Meals just about to get 1v1 by Chuck here, too. Ooh, jumps onto the Prugs. Dodging out on the ring right there. Actually, Meals can win that 1v1
He's dead.
It weren't for the Ziggs damage. Wow. Yeah, that's all armor on Chuck. Meals calling, hey, wait, what was that? I thought it was a 1v1. Where was that Ziggs damage? And
hey, hold up. He built armor. How did he win? This is not fair.
I'm supposed to kill him.
T-Tiger's sacrificing himself.
I don't even know if he goes down right now. Actually, try very low. Chuck in
trouble.
No,
not again.
T-Tiger's still alive. T-Tiger's at old school. Everybody ran past the Vi. And unstoppable goes Dienzio. Old school does get out. T-Tigers as well. Tribe can just do no wrong. They're too far ahead.
Everybody forgot about Vi. Say you later. Here comes Zello trying to go in.
In a 1v3. I like the attempts. I like the Hail Mary. You gotta find it. You gotta look for it at least. But it is still missing here. Tribe, it's looking like a 1-1 here in this best of 5 series. And it's looking like Tribe, they're just warming up.
Old school. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is just because it is really pivotal for Cloud9 for them to land them. The shockwaves are not hitting. They're full-on sombreros at this point. There's no mariachi. There's no fanfare there. They're just missing. And that is something that they are going to need to shore up either now or going into further games. Old School needs to land these if Cloud9 want to stand a chance in still being in this game.
And a reminder that Old School's known for his Orianna as well. So it's not like, oh, he's on an off roll or like a champion he never plays. We've seen Old School hit these before. Just having an off game right now. Baron started up by Tribe. I can't imagine a world where Cloud9 steal this or even contest it, but you got a bigger imagination than I do. Yikes walks forward and pays the price.
And I like the start of this from Tribe. Chunk out one member, try to find a kill before a Baron so that you can set yourself up for success in a numbers advantage. Selma had to go for a recall, and then Yikes.
Ooh,
starting a little aggressive there, bud.
This is big! Starting! They finally take him down, and a big engage from Selma as well. All right, Cloud9, that's the start of something.
They found a couple kills. Zello does end up going down yet again in this matchup, but that right there stops the bleeding. That is 2 members, specifically the Ziggs, that do not have a Baron buff. They still need to be able to get into that backline, stop Dienzio from sieging onto these turrets, and in the meantime, Chuck is just whittling away at inhibitor tier top. So it's a good pick. It's something that buys them a little bit of time in this game, some breathing room, but not enough for them to feel comfortable quite yet.
They need to keep playing aggressive. If you look at Meals, Flash is available, ult coming off cooldown, starting to use both sums there. Dienzio used both sums there. Don't get picks though.
Teleports
this would be
in.
disaster, and that's going to be it. That should break their back. Cloud9 are getting engaged on even more. T-Tigers wants it! And more damage followed up by starting. That's 2 picks for Tribe. It would have been a miracle if Cloud9 could have found it, but it will not be. Tribe are just too far ahead. They're diving under the inhibitor turret. Although pretty low on health bars right now. Zello missing the ultimate. Vanguard's edge goes a little wide. And now, Baron-empowered minions still in the mid lane. Tribe look to take another inhibitor turret.
And just look at this right now. The only way that maybe Cloud9 get out of it is they get a flank teleport here, but 2 inhibitors down, and if it gets too dicey on this push, move right back onto the dragon. They even have a massive wave in the dragon lane. So now, this is triple inhibitor, Kangas. If this isn't a game win, I don't know what is.
It's just going to be over after this. I mean, Tribe, they could just let the minions win for them, and they're actually going to do that. They're going to back off right now. They haven't dropped a turret. It's 0 turrets to 9.
Oh my god.
All right, Cloud9,
if you want to get into
bot. 5-man bot, take that turret. That's the game plan.
If you want to get nitty gritty with it, it's 2 plates to 15 to what is it? It's 2 plates to 9. That's enough. They got 2 plates in bot lane. That's as far as that goes. Oh no.
You can't see my face, but production can. It's not pretty. Yikes gets a red buff. Hey, there's something. That's something for him. Zello now in the bottom lane. Maybe they can do something here. Dienzio now has summoner spells back up.
Whoa.
And Zilla does it. Good engage from Selma, but it's just not going to mean anything. Now they're hitting their skill shots. Now Cloud9 are ready for the fights, but when you're this far in the hole, you know that it's not going to work out. Tribe can walk in these super minion waves, and they will go up 1-1 in this series, showing, hey, game one was a fluke. This is Tribe that we expect. This is the Tribe that have been so dominant in North America. And this is the Tribe going to game 3 with a tied record.
They're just clearing out minion waves right now. They're finishing up. They're trying to give some more, trying to pad the stats right now if you're a Tribe. But Kangas, we were a little bit worried. We should have just remembered the Holiday Showdown. They did go 3-1. But
they did.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a huge fan of Ziggs. However, they were definitely experimenting with what they wanted to do in game 1. And Tribe, they come in, they're like, okay, that's enough fooling around. Let's just close this one out.
I hate to say it, Alk, because you were excited to see the Ziggs ban dropped, but I imagine it's coming back. I imagine that Cloud9 are going to say, nope, give him Jace. We're not giving him Ziggs again.
Give him Jace. Honestly, yeah, it's probably going to be Jace. They don't want to give up Galio again, in my eyes. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a Ziggs ban.
Well, I'm even maybe fine with dropping the Galio ban and then grabbing it for yourselves, or at least grabbing the Camille Blue 1. I'm still fine with that strategy. Just don't give them the combo. So there are a couple strats that Cloud9 can look to employ going forward, but looking at these stats right here, yeah, starting double-digit kills, double-digit assists, only 2 deaths. And even Dienzio not dying a single time.
Man, he's good 80 carry. And this time doesn't have to deal with the entire enemy team bearing down on him as a Senna. Can just freely fire away with those piercing arrows at range. Again, it is all about, can my 80 carry do damage? And now, Kangas, I want to cast our minds to game 3 here. Because we have seen Tribe now play a lot of games on red side. A lot of games on red side. Do they ever pivot away to blue, or does Cloud9 ever force them to pivot away to blue? Because that is a really important change, I think, for Cloud9. If they can get red side, they can protect for those counter picks, and we can see something a little bit more even this time around. But if they can't, then, you know, like they still have to rock with a lot of mages in bottom, because that's what we've been seeing from them so far. The Brand, the Orianna, keeping themselves flexible in the early 3 picks of the draft.
Yeah, they could go for the counter pick, but also, most importantly, it changes up what you have to ban, because you don't have to necessarily ban the Galio or the Camille at that point, because if blue side locks in one, you just lock in the other for yourselves. Interesting choices for Cloud9 going forward. Still tied 1-1 in the series. Of course, a reminder, this is a best of 5, so we're going to have a minimum of 2 more games, but I would love it for it to go to a full 5. That would be so hype here to start off the new year. But we'll get to that after this short break before we're back for game number 3 between these 2 teams. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Introducing Fight Night Rift, a bi-weekly Wild Rift event hosted by GiantSlayer. 4 teams will be invited to compete in a round-robin best-of-1 format, where the top 2 teams in the round robin will play in the finals to decide the winner of that week's fight night. And the best part of it all, anyone can join. Head over to GiantSlayer.tv/WR to sign up and have a chance to be invited to compete in the next fight night. Our hope with the Fight Night Rift is to create a place to develop North American talent in a grassroots environment. Will you be the next Fight Night Rift champion? We'll see you on the Rift.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for Game 3 of our grand finals between Cloud9 and Tribe Gaming. 1-1 is the scoreboard, Alk. Cloud9 had a grinder of a Game 1. Game 2, Tribe gave us a pretty quick one. That one was that was over around minute 5.
We were talking about it in the break, but it's just caster diff. We said, hey, Tribe looked good Game 1. Got absolutely destroyed. Game 2, Cloud9 were like, oh, dude, we like this draft. This is so cool. This is really good for them. Now, in all fairness, they did get bodied. Like, badly bodied. So I feel like you could have played any comp, and it would have been like just... You could have had Draft Exodia, and it would probably would have happened the same way. But, alas, we're here.
Key takeaway is, as we're getting ready for pick and ban for game number 3, is if any teams want our Venmo accounts, just let us know, and we'll vote for the other guys. We'll say that they're the ones that win it.
Well, you can use Venmo. I use Deal. I don't know about you. It's a little more official. I can invoice it properly. It's good for taxes at the end of the year.
Interesting note. But I am here that we're ready for pick and ban for this game number 3. So let's hop into it here and actually see what these teams are planning. Because again, we've only seen Cloud9 on blue side so far. Do they opt to change things around and get onto that red side, get that counter pick? Survey says yes. Cloud9 are on red side.
Wow. Okay. Super important here to see what the change is. What are the bans, Kangas? Because really, we've been sticking with Akshan sitting on the bench for, riding the bench as the team captain over there. You got Galio, who's just a new addition. So they're going to kind of switch it up. I mean, Morgana is kind of a mainstay for the most part from Tribe.
Yeah, Tribe's been banning that first ban every single game so far, so no surprise here. Thresh would be the next one if they're sticking with the tried and true, and still same Akshan for Cloud9. So as of right now, the bans haven't changed, and honestly, I wouldn't necessarily be too surprised based on what Cloud9 has been banning, especially now that they've kind of pivoted towards that Jace ban. Maybe they leave it up this time. If they do, I imagine Tribe would blue one that. I think it is still blue oneable. But it's up to Cloud9. What do they consider the bigger threat? The Ziggs, the Jace, or the Galio? Because that's kind of the options here. And yeah, back to the
Ziggs. Okay, so now's the time. Which one are we going to get rid of? Which one's going to not make it out of the pot of greed? Well, I'm a little afraid here, Kangas.
If you are on red, I think you leave up Galio, you leave up Camille. Because you're basically forcing Tribe to pick one of them then. Otherwise, you grab both on the Cloud back. And I think... Oh, okay, I guess they just disagree. They're banning the Camille. They don't want any of that.
Yeah, I think it has to be Camille. Only because I think if you first pick Galio, there's just a lot of answers you can go for. You can just instantly reach for... I think there's a few champions in my mind that we'll have to see if they end up happening, but I don't think Galio's blue oneable. I think if anything, Varus is something that Tribe, we've already seen them reach for once, and it's been a popular thing just in general in North America to just immediately reach for this marksman.
Yeah, and they lock it in. It took a little bit of time to think about it, but they do opt for the long-range AD carry. It will not be paired with the Ziggs this time around. So last time we saw that like long-range poke composition where they can just chunk people out. Could be a little harder to do unless they also grab the Jace, but no, Cloud9 won't give it to them. Cloud9, they see that potential, and they are hovering it as of right now, but probably locking that in.
Okay, this is what I was wondering, what were Cloud9's response was going to be, right? Because Jace, obviously, very, very popular right now. Everybody's trying to pick up this champion where they can. And I was wondering if either Cloud9 were going to go for a marksman or a jungler here, but instead go ahead and pick up a flexible laner in the Jace and the Galio as well. So, interesting to note, what does Tribe answer here? Darius would be a good answer into Galio just because another melee tank. He's just like, cool, I'm stacking Hemorrhage the entire time. And Jace doesn't have a fun matchup if you can't get away from him. You get to see startings Orianna. Meals, what is your answer here? Do you go for the Aurelion Soul? Do you try to go for something like another traditional mage? I wouldn't expect an Ahri, but it's possible.
It's interesting because this is also takeaway from Cloud9, like that Orianna combo. But yeah, it's Senna locked in here for Cloud9, so they have the Senna plus the Galio combo plus that Jace, so still a lot of range for them. They don't necessarily have a Galio enabler yet, somebody for him to follow up on. So primarily peel duty, but against champions with range, and then that Darius. So yeah, I'm actually liking Tribe's first 3 picks a lot more than
Stop!
Cloud9's first 3.
You're gonna jinx them, Steve.
Oh,
you're
true.
Gonna jinx them.
True. Wait,
My channel points.
Is this like
my channel points are on the line here, bud.
Competitive integrity. Am I even allowed at this point to say that I favor either of these teams? I feel like it's kind of cheating.
Depends. Do you have Cloud9 merch?
I don't. Don't have any tribe either.
Well, then never mind. You can keep on voting for tribe then. Keep going, bud. You're good. No investigations needed.
I got an old school CLG jersey here. Does that count?
They are not even in this game.
Nope.
You're still waiting for them to play an LCS, bud. Let's not happening.
Diana locked in as a ban here for Tribe Gaming. Just gonna change the topic here.
Yeah.
Plus the Braum ban. Maybe another support ban for Cloud9. No, they take it with Olaf.
Well, at least we don't have to watch an Olaf game, right? We're here. We've made it where we no longer are forced to play an Olaf game. I don't think Olaf would have fit Tribe style with what they want to do anyway. So
I think Nunu fits this better.
Yeah, T-Tigers hasn't really shown that he plays Nunu. So it's like, we're probably going to get a Vi. There's a chance we see a Lee Sin here.
Wait, Nunu matches Cloud9. We could see the Snowball Senna combo. The invisible Snowball. That actually is an angle right now for Cloud9.
Does that work?
Yeah, you don't see the Snowball if Nunu's in the Shroud. And so you have a hitbox that's outside of the visible Shroud. Oh, but it's Jax instead. Okay.
Okay, well, we are just going to indulge in bad tendencies where Jack's Leap Strike is an offensive tool. You know what also goes in with that? Galio ultimate. If I Leap Strike forward, my Galio's slamming ult right now on me. Give me that ult.
Yep.
Oh my god, we're going to see the first time Nunu. Okay, this is the first time we've seen this guy. At least on VOD.
Really? I could have sworn that we've
Yeah.
seen T-Tigers play it at least one. Did he not play this game one?
No.
On the day? I'll have to go back and check that. I thought we had seen him on it, but regardless, it's picked up here, and that means it will be Jax in the jungle, and the Corki locked in for Cloud9. So Meals, we have a very old school matchup here. Kind of the control mage versus the Corki.
Yeah. Not going to be able to do much. This is a rough matchup for Corki. This is just like, hey, I'm trying to scale. I don't outpoke Orianna. She has better range than me. She has better auto attacks than me. And in team fights, she's just better than I am when it comes to having a bigger influence. So this is going to be on Meals to try and find package timers to move out of mid lane and affect really Zelo's lane. Because if you're going to try and dive an Alistar and a Varus, it's possible, but you're playing for Senna and Galio, which could unlock them to move up and move with Yikes to grab vision, but it's just, in my mind, it would be better for them to play for Zelo here as the Jace.
I just am not seeing any hard engage options for Cloud9. It's
No.
like you can try and look for the Corki package flank, and then maybe like Galio can ult on or something cheesy like that, but it's so hard to pull it off. Whereas, yeah, Tribe, Alistar, Nunu, and then an Orianna Shockwave on top of that. So much easier for them to just say, we're fighting now. We're going to push you off this objective, start the objective, or, you know, just push you off in lane, whatever they want to do. I do think that Tribe are walking away from this one in the lead.
They're feeling quite comfortable. Oh god, this just means that we're going to see a Cloud9 take this game. Alright, everybody, if you got channel points, I don't know if we're doing a prediction on the stream, if any of the TOs are here in chat, but go ahead, vote for Cloud9. Kangas just said that he prefers Tribe's draft, which automatically means Cloud9 is going to win. So
I don't believe in
cash
curses,
in.
Alk. I don't believe in curses. There's no such
You're a
thing.
CLG fan. I thought that wouldn't have happened. That doesn't seem correct.
Well, that's not a curse. That's a way of life, okay?
Well,
that's
that makes
culture
sense.
right there.
Real winning culture. Speaking of which, look at this. Starting. He's getting that winning culture put right on top of him there. Thanks, Corky.
Something like that. Something like that indeed. Zelo actually getting the early push in the top lane here as his jungler is pathing towards the bottom side. Always worries me when I see that because that means no jungle assistance if the Nunu decides to show up. But Nunu actually shows mid, so T-Tigers spotted now on the map. Yikes has not yet been seen. Yikes should realize, yeah, T-Tigers has red buff.
Oh, he's
Yikes
on
could
wards!
actually look to maybe engage.
Oh,
Yeah, he spotted.
No.
He engages. That's a stun. That's damage out of starting. Meals is there as well. Ooh, the shock blast misses from Zelo. And actually didn't go nearly as far as I expected it to, but actually not that bad. Selma and Old School actually get the bottom scuttle.
You know, this is something that we actually would have seen typically from Dienzio. Dienzio typically tries to find a way where he has priority in his lane and then can move out and grab the scuttle so that his jungler doesn't get it stolen away and they can double scuttle the enemy jungle. However, this time around, Old School and Selma, they play the lane pretty aggressively. Max Green's not able to answer against the Galio, and with the poke from Senna, they push in a wave, use that timer, and now, I mean, what happened in the last game is happening to T-Tigers here. As the Nunu, he's down a little bit of experience, but he just got to farm basically 2 quadrants, and that's about it, whereas Jax is gonna now finish 2 quadrants as well as feeling pretty good about himself here.
And the bot lane comes back with better items as well. We also have ward coverage in the top jungle, so Zello can play very aggressively and try and push in onto the Darius. Good start for Cloud9. Yes, it's not reflected in like a big gold lead right now, but you should start to feel the tempo, or rather the pressure on the map advantage that they have. But T-Tigers throw a wrench in that plan. The bottom lane right now.
Oh, nice job from Max Green. Nice.
Flash forward by T-Tigers. Flash response, but the double stun and under turret. Dienzio picks up first blood.
Even though that was a kill for Tribe, I want to give props over to Old School. That was really good flash timing there. Able to just barely get it out right before the headbutt pulverize comes through. That is really tight timing, and even though it ends up in a kill for them, is mechanically well played. You know, a small bit of excellence coming out from multiple different players there in that fight.
And again, the range of the Varus, actually coming back with the man immune completed.
That's gonna hurt.
That's early.
Oh my god, wait. And look at just look at the gold. I think they're letting Selma farm up all these because they want to go for full AP Galio here. They're trying to trade HP, but Max Green can engage. He's level 5, so probably not going to be too much of a threat, but they're doing old school, like, Senna's not going to be farming. She is focused on her souls.
Yeah, gonna try and get the AD and stacking that way instead. T-Tigers aggressively walking forward here. Objectives have spawned on the map. Dienzio's nearby too. I don't think Cloud9 can actually contest this dragon, but they just want the scuttle for right now, and maybe they even go towards this Rift Herald instead with mid-priority. Flash out of Chuck. Ooh, and Zello dodges out the upper hand as well.
Looks like they're just going to split the map like you said. Take the Rift Herald while Tribe start this up. Now, Meals is here to play kind of like a fly on the wall. He just wants to be there to try to annoy Tribe, maybe even throw up a little bit of a sneaky steal with the rockets there, but is he just gonna kill Dienzio?
Okay,
Niels.
that was a lot of damage.
Right.
Dienzio flashing and burying. Oh, but Old School dies in the mid lane instead. Rotel drop top lane. Chuck, can he survive?
Oh, he kills him anyway.
What?
What?
Dienzio.
Huh?
What? I don't even know what just happened. Meals doesn't even have barrier. Has flash available. T-Tigers looking for this. Could actually clean up right here. Max Green's nearby as well. They get a double kill for Jax, but T-Tigers might still get to... No, he's way too low. It's a lot of damage from Yikes. That's the triple kill along with the turret. All right, that is a lot of gold to Cloud9.
Remember that this play started with Old School dying, with Meals dying, and somehow the Yikes, Zello, and Selma make it work. Get a triple kill for Yikes. We've talked about it. We've seen him take care of games by himself. We saw it on the Camille and on the Jax. Shouldn't be that much different already. Yikes now in prime position to lead his team to victory. The gold is even, but just take a look at the discrepancy in some of these lanes. Most of it being in that jungle now, thanks to the lead that Yikes kind of got for himself.
This Jax carries the hopes and dreams of Cloud9 on his shoulders here. Can Yikes show up? This is literally the opposite of Game 1, where he was 0-3. Now 3-0 here. With that Trinity Force completed, very far ahead over T-Tigers right now. Who also got that early dragon, so controlling the jungle early on for himself. Can Yikes get either in a side lane or invade onto T-Tigers and try and punish this Nunu while he's still ahead?
Oh... Kangas, now, okay, here's the thing. We kind of want to come back to Tribe's draft here that we had set up and how it interacts with Cloud9. Cloud9 do have a lot of poke. You look at Jace, you look at Corki, the Senna, they all operate at a much longer range than Tribe can kind of reach at them. However, Tribe have really good tools of looking for a gauge and kind of closing the gap between them and Cloud9. And if that happens, it's all on Yikes and Selma to really be those beefy, bruisery frontliners and stop Tribe from putting down damage before their backline can take care of Tribe. However, you take a look at starting right now, he just finished Seraphs. And that means if you can't kill starting now, probably not killing starting for a long time.
2 howevers in 1 breakdown. I do love to hear that. There's a lot of damage.
If you want.
Well, here's my damage. Starting can survive a lot, but however, 3 damage dealers, 3 range damage dealers on the side of Cloud9 means that, you know, they just need realistically like 2 of them focusing down starting. Starting will be in a lot of trouble, but still actually just winning a lot of these trades regardless. It's difficult to predict who's actually going to win these team fights from this game state. All we know is Cloud9 have a slight edge in the gold lead.
Can Jace really do much? They're investing a lot up here to try and just play around Zello. The thing for Tribe is they have a kind of a weird lane assignment right now where they can't really answer globals, where at Cloud9 you see that they just have Senna Galio. At a drop of a hat, Galio can just move to a side lane. Senna can throw her ultimate. You're good. But you're letting Varus solo farm against potentially either Jace or Corki, and that's kind of a very dangerous proposition to have.
Dragon's up in 15 seconds, and Corki just backs for package now. Already Tribe are earlier to this, so Cloud9 will have to fight their way into that bottom jungle if they actually want to contest, and they also need to worry about Zell getting dove here potentially. He's backing off, respecting the fact that Alistar can look for it. But yeah, here comes Corki with package.
We'll have to watch. Chuck will not be here for this fight as it starts, so numbers advantage here for Cloud9. And it's all about where starting lands the ultimate.
Flash engage from Max Green. He says, we're going now. That is what Tribe's composition can do. Can Cloud9 answer? They already lose their Jace. He went way too close. Went for the melee range. Thelma dies. 2 down for Cloud9. They did not trade a single kill. Maybe they can get 1 here. Meals getting aggressive on the starting. Oh, ults the rocket towards Max Green instead of starting. Misses the kill. And that means kills to Tribe. Objective to Tribe.
And Rifttail's being started by Cloud9. I think they just stopped it. Tribe can just stop this. They can walk right over. Nunu in for the recall. Jax ends up taking it instead. So good for Cloud9 that they can try to make that trade after finding a couple of losses there. Poor Icarus flew a little too close to the sun there and ends up getting burned. Zello on this Jace.
We talked about it. I mean, the ease of engage for Tribe is so much greater than Cloud9. If Cloud9's walking into those kinds of dragons, it's hard for them to say, okay, engage and start the fight. And who's going to do it? It's got to be Meals with that package, but Tribe, they say, all right, Alistar goes for the engage, and then we all just dogpile onto it. Speaking of, okay, he's fine.
What's cool there for Tribe as well is the package. Mostly, when you think of package, you're like, oh man, it takes a lot of damage, and especially if you're a squishier member, it will just burn through your health bar. But it landed on the tanks. It was all Chuck and all Max Green. And at that point then, Orianna's like, oh, Yikes is on top of me, I'm just gonna walk him down. He doesn't have leap strike anymore. I'm just gonna keep auto spacing backwards. He can't really do much. And we saw old school, once you get rid of the AD carry from being able to do damage while the Varus is there, that damage is never going to be able to match up pound for pound. So Tribe end up winning, and they're just constantly ping-ponging waves for mid control. This is basically what the game is going to devolve into, Kangas. We're just fighting for mid waves.
Yep.
And we're just waiting for objectives.
And meanwhile, Yikes is getting fed in the side lane here. Has 2 items completed with Bork picked up. Even has the Stasis enchant as well. So Cloud9 and Yikes as well as a player, not the team I think of when I think of like a jungle split push style. This is what a lot of the Chinese and some of the Southeast Asian teams were playing at the Horizon Cup. And North American teams had struggled to do it. T-Tigers is really the only one that has shown success with it. Yikes now has to show his proficiency with this unique style. Is that stolen?
All right.
I think...
No, it wasn't. It was a mini objective. That's why we saw them start to actually group and fight.
Okay.
Oh, no!
Next, we didn't quite get onto old school. And now they're under turret, and Selma is quite tanky, but as I say it, that was a big chunk of damage. Now 4 goes
I don't know
Meals,
about that one,
but
Meals.
immediately taunted and just blown up. A double kill over to the Enzio. Disaster for Cloud9.
And In the meanwhile, Rift Herald's being summoned in Dragon Lane. Like, it's a good win there for Tribe in terms of how much gold they just got, but Yikes is influencing his own cash flow, and he's just got a massive injection of gold. Max Green's probably going to just try and be an annoyance here, but that was a few mistakes away from Tribe ending up with a massive loss on their hands.
But still good on Yikes to equalize. 4,000 ahead of T-Tigers. This Jax is Cloud9. Like, he is their gold. Everybody else is behind their assigned opponents by a decent margin, mind you. And Yikes trying to keep Cloud9 in this game. Can they actually kite back well enough? Can they play around him? You need to play safe if you're everybody else on Cloud9 in these kinds of scenarios. And Old School's just getting chunked out here by Varus. He doesn't have the range to deal with him.
You know, if you would have told me, like, you just turned nameplates off, I would not have thought that Tarzane was subbed out. It's the same. It's about the same level of
same game plan
you could expect from Cloud9.
Yeah. But, I mean,
different body.
I will say, the things that Yikes does is that he's able to still like put on these kind of crazy carry performances even when he doesn't receive a lot of resources. Tarzan can make a lead turn into a much bigger lead, but we'll get back to that point. Okay, don't even know why we're talking about leads right now for Cloud9 when this is happening to them in these fights. That's a package for Meals right now. Jumps back in, hard focusing down onto Dienzio, and there's a stasis available. Dienzio's just fine. He even flashes to safety. Tribe just so easily mopped the floor. A 5-for-0 team fight.
I don't know what's more surprising, the fact that Tribe are going to now win this game, or that maybe Kangas finally got a prediction right for teams.
I'm telling you.
Look at this. We're here.
Curses.
We've made it. It took 2 games, but you know, as long as we get there, a win's a win. We don't shame wins here in this house. Tribe, what else can I say that I haven't said before about these guys? It was a really sick team fight. Dienzio's positioning in that was fantastic, and we talked about it earlier, but if starting is untouched, that Orianna ult completely changes the game for them, and Cloud9 unable to answer, unable to win.
And starting has 3 completed items. Probably will have 4 by the next big team fight. Like, you're gonna just one-shot Meals. You're gonna one-shot Old School. Even through barrier, probably. It is just insane the damage an Orianna can do in a Wild Rift. And not even to mention that there's now an Infernal Dragon picked up here. Yeah, it's a GG angle right now. This could be the final engage. Max Green finds it. And where'd Zello go? Selma survived a couple more seconds, but with Baron-empowered minions here, you got to imagine Tribe are putting the final nails in the coffin of Cloud9 ults.
Goodbye, Old School.
That's disgusting. Cloud9.
See you later,
valiant
bud.
effort. They still have a win in this series, but Tribe will move to match point 2-1 in the best of 5 for Fight Night 2022.
Wow. I know we didn't get to touch on it at the last moment there. It was a really sick combo coming out from starting in Max Green. He started up the Shockwave and then immediately headbutt Pulverize into Proto Belt, lands it, and it's basically undodgeable unless you're flashing already. So tight timings there from the Tribe members. Gets them an 18-3 victory. The game is close. There's your calm pawn there.
Yeah.
Kangas, that you wanted to get to.
You know what's incredible about this? 15 kill lead, but the majority of that game was within 2,000 gold differential of the two teams.
Yeah.
That is what Yikes was doing on the Jax. That is how much he was able to amass a little gold pocket for himself, but it wasn't enough at the end of the day because team fight was still the name of the game for this Tribe composition. You look at these 5 champions, you say, okay, I understand what they will try to do, and okay, Startin and Dienzio competing for KDA there. Starting with 1 additional kill over Dienzio.
I don't want to look at the just the damage charts, man.
Hey, you know what? Yikes is that low because he was split pushing the whole time. T-Tigers is that
I'm
low
not looking at
tank.
Yikes. I'm looking at Chuck versus Max Green right now.
Oh, I didn't even notice Chuck. What?
Okay, you know, it's funny to juxtapose these two things where you have like a 3,000 damage Darius versus 10,000 damage Jace, but Darius went 2-1-4, and Jace went 0-5-3.
Yeah.
So like, effective damage, right? Right.
All of Chuck's damage was probably in a kill. I mean, you think about that laning phase against a Jace, you're never going to touch him. Probably every single tick of damage he was able to do was one of those kills with his assists, or at least a large portion of it. That's kind of a funny little stat to think about. But Alk, 2-1 for Tribe, and it looks like they've been warming up. You even said it in that game 1, like starting on the Ahri almost felt like a little bit of limit testing for Tribe. And these last 2 games, it's back to classics, it's back to champions that we expect from them. Even though Stardy also wasn't necessarily the biggest Ori player, we know that he does pick that up from time to time playing at Horizon Cup. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we expect from Tribe here in North America because, again, nobody has quite been able to match them pound for pound in this region.
Okay, Cloud9, if you're out there, Nano, Pepe, the rest of the boys on the team, we're not playing Jace top lane anymore, boys. I'm sorry. I really just want to see Zello on a tank. Like, the carries are not working. We saw the Kale game, and what did we say during the Kale game? He really didn't have to do much. He got bailed out by Selma on a bad base, and then was able to kind of do normal Kale things as the game went on. I think Zello is a great role player when he needs to be. However, carry is just not the flavor that I think I want to see Cloud9 in. I want to see them play for a Bruiser-esque top laner. Renekton, Darius, it's fine. Those matchups, I'm okay with. The Jace is just not there because he's not able to transition that lead into something more. And that's where I then want to see Cloud9, if you are going to play this Jace, gank top lane. You have Senna, Galio, bot. Kill this man. Kill this Darius. You have a winning matchup. Kill him.
I mean, they did. They dove 4 people topside, and they got hard punished for it. They actually lost out on that trade, if you remember the one time that they did go for that. Granted, they were already, I think, a little behind in gold at that moment, but yeah, I think decision-making for Cloud9 definitely something that they can look to revise going into Game 4 here. And also, I kind of want them to stay on red one more time. I actually do think it favors Cloud9 in pick and ban. Even though that game, I mean, I'd argue that was closer than game 2. Their only win was in that game number 1 when they were on blue side. But I think just when you look at what red side gives you in pick ban, I do still think it favors Cloud9.
Personally, I'm always going to be a fan of red side. And I think you're going to say right here, we have just determined sides are the same for game 4. So like Cloud9 will still be red. I just like red for the terrain of the map. You will always have a better way of getting into Dragon Pit than blue side, and with how important Dragon is, especially in North America, with how we like to fight, it is really important to have a strong red side performance. Yeah. So Cloud9, lock it in, boys. Come on.
And still, that counter pick is something big. I'm trying to remember even the draft order, what they had said. I believe it was the Corki counter pick that they had saved for that last one.
Yep.
It just didn't really shock me, or it didn't like impress me, I guess is more the word I'm looking for. Laning phase wise didn't accomplish much, and then those packages just weren't impactful enough by the time we got to the late game. Now maybe you can make an argument because the rest of the team was already struggling at that point, but I think if you're gonna save counter pick, I want something more impactful than Corki into the Orianna. Like, that just doesn't feel like, okay, you got your value out of that red 5.
It's agreed. I don't think the value was quite there, right? In normal circumstances, a Corki is fine for most matchups. However, in the Orianna matchup, you're really trying to hedge your bets with moving into a team fight, being stronger at level 5 than she is, just with the package, compared to other champions in the game. So, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of the Corki for Meals, especially when we know him as kind of a champion specialist. Being able to have so many different champions in that pool available to you is super strong. And we saw another game here where Yikes got a lead for himself. Now this time they didn't win, but it is another one where we see a promising young player get themselves a huge W.
He wins the game where he starts 0-3, but he loses the game. He's 3-0. That's so sad. That's gotta feel really bad.
He's a Yasuo player at heart. He's a Yasuo player at heart, actually.
I guess that's why Yasuo keeps getting banned against them. But yeah, now looking back at the bans, like Meals going towards that Corki could be a product of the fact that, you know, Diana, Yasuo were banned against them in that round too. Maybe get those a little earlier, you know, prioritize those quickly in the draft, and drop things like the Senegalio. I don't know if the Senegalio is going to work as a win condition against a team like Tribe Gaming. I want Cloud9 to be able to fire on all cylinders. If they're not willing to play around Cello in the top lane and gank him, you need to have a lane that you can gank and something that you can play through with hard engage. So try and play that through bot lane is probably the best advice I'd give them.
Maybe. I want to believe in Meals just because I know we've seen great things from this player, right? Throughout the Summoner series, we've seen Meals have just fantastic performance, carry performances when push comes to shove. But, you know, this is you know, maybe the stakes are we're taking the stakes a little too seriously. This is just, you know, Wild Rift Fight Night. We're playing for $500. If they're just here to relax, get some easy pocket change, it's not do or die. You're not playing for, like, the last spot in the WNS.
Well, come on,
We're
man.
just playing for $250.
You have a chance to take down Tribe in a best of 5. You should show
True.
up with your all. Try and be the first team ever to do it. Has Tribe lost a best of 5 in North America? I'm trying to remember if Enemy took one off of them in the first Summoner series, and then Tribe came back.
They lost at Rift Masters.
Okay. Oh, yes, they did.
They may have been a best of 3, though. Pretty sure that's a best of 3. So maybe not a best of 5.
Well, you can put yourself in a very small list of folks that have actually beaten Tribe in a best of, let alone a best of 5. So Cloud9, see what their decision is here, as I believe we're getting ready for pick and ban here shortly for game number 4. It could end here, Alk. It could be a repeat of last time during the holiday special where Tribe go 3-0 in the group stage, drop 1 in the grand finals, but then close out with 3 swift victories. Cloud9 hoping to end that tradition. And again, yeah, same side selection.
Kangas, you're actually the real winner of this one. If they win now, you get a good dinner. You get early dinner. It's like, what, 7:30 for you?
7:22.
And if they keep going, you get to cast a full best of 5.
It's a win-win, everybody.
Yeah.
I haven't actually got my workout in yet, so I could get out at a reasonable time and get a good bump on. Otherwise, I'd have to resort to doing it during the games, and I don't know if you'd appreciate me.
You're just in the middle of doing Atlas Stones, and Tribe is just like slamming dragons.
Oh, no. I got arm wrestling implements in my bedroom right now, so that's gonna be the workout. Yeah,
wonderful.
Maybe I could show a stream after Pink Man.
You might. I was gonna say you might need to send some of these players some tips because these drafts might be looking a little weak.
Wrist strength is important, gamers, especially for mobile gaming. Finger strength is important, so make sure you're working those out.
Yeah, doing a lot of this.
There you go.
Unfocusing my camera at the same time.
And losing some frames while you're at it. Looks like same bands. Cloud9 sticking with that Ziggs ban. Maybe they pivot to the Jace ban, because if they're not willing to play it, I think it is still worth taking away from Tribe Gaming. So if they're going to adapt something, that's probably what I would put money on.
Yeah. Oh. This means Galio's available, which means Tribe probably just going to go Varus again.
Yeah, I mean, this is the exact same bans from last game in the exact same order. So yeah, Varus fine for Tribe.
Okay, I know you hated Senegalio. Pick Senegalio here. Do not pick Jace. Please do not pick Jace.
Senegalio here, I wouldn't hate as much, yeah.
Jax Galio is fine. Like, you can pick... You can't pick Fiora, but you can pick, like, Galio... Corki if you really want. Oriana's fine. Take it away. That's a good one. I'll take it. We take those. Meals on Oriana. Okay. I like it.
Or
it's a
old
mage.
School on Oriana could still be
true.
Old school.
That is true.
Okay. It's different. It's something different. I do like that. I can appreciate that for sure. Because now if starting goes back towards the Jace, which seems to be the play, and T-Tiger's locking in Darius for check, that's a lot of physical damage again. Ban away things like the Diana. Ban away things like the Nunu. Take away AP options for T-Tigers to play in the jungle here, and I think Cloud9 with some beef balls. Alk, they might have been listening to you.
Okay. Now, there is another world. I know we were talking about whole multiverse here in terms of the draft.
Okay.
They could send Renekton mid. And Renekton mid versus Jace, it's a little hard. You have to play your jungle has to come and bail you out. But if you get an early kill, if you set yourself up for success, Jace becomes turbo useless.
Okay.
So there is a world, especially if you have maybe an engaged support, which again, we've seen it time and time again. Selma will just roam. Rakan was the flavor last time. It is possible. Likelihood's probably low.
I can see it. You're starting to convince me here, Alk. Now I want to see it for sure. Just something different from Cloud9 at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with that argument, I still think that putting Zello on the Renekton to the Ares is probably the correct decision. Just get Zello back onto something in frontline and try and be that beef ball. Support focus from Cloud9. Not what I was expecting. I thought that they would have gone towards jungle AP picks, maybe even the brand takeaway from DNZO if he's willing to play that. But now what do they want to lock in here? They're already showing their solo lanes, presumably, unless Orianna is flexed. So actually probably a jungler here then, right? Keep that Ori flex.
Yes. The thing is like, they really want to try and get support / mid counter pick here, just because they know this is probably them just saying Galio is going to be our support, so wanting to save Meal's pick here. But Tribe, I mean, they need a little bit of magic damage. There's not a lot of people who are actually going to be building tanks, so you could say if you're a Tribe, you can be greedy and go for full physical here. And Olaf is certainly one way to get away with that.
Okay, so yeah, full physical comp, tiny bit of AP from Rakan, and I guess Varus passive if you really want to get technical here. But not really anything that you'd want to itemize against. Cloud9, what is their final lock-in pick here?
Wow. Okay.
Kai'Sa, is this going to be locked in? That means it would most likely be Orianna, unless they want to match Kai'Sa against the Jace. I mean, this actually was...
That is awful matchup. I've accidentally played that matchup by complete happenstance. You do not play that matchup.
Okay.
It is not.
Okay.
You know who does play Kai'Sa mid? Truth. However, they're not in this tournament. So until they come back, I'm not going to talk about Kai'Sa mid. That is not a fun.
I'll respect your wishes here, Alk.
No.
And it will be Kai'Sa in the bottom lane with the Galio. Now, the biggest difference between Cloud9's draft last game and this game is, of course, they have a couple more engage options. Orianna Shockwave with the Lee Sin or the Renekton going in is kind of like the big one I'm looking at. Or even Yikes if you can find a flank. That's something. But I still think Tribe have like the more guaranteed engage. Like Rakan engage is just so much simpler to pull off. It doesn't require as many moving parts. So I think I still am probably going to edge towards Tribe Gaming on this one.
For me, this comes down to the mid 2v2 here, because we've seen Starting play a little too aggressively on the Jace and get punished by Yikes, and on Lee Sin, with the amount of mobility you have, it's very hard for someone like Jace to get away from you. But if he can try to hold the wave in a certain spot, if he can, you know, utilize the different forms of Jace, this Orianna will be under a lot of duress to try and come out of lane with a lot of HP left and not be forced on an early back. So depends on how Starting's able to play this and how both of the junglers are able to interact, and already we're seeing it. Starting misses the shock blast, but huge amount of damage down on Meals.
Would have been a kill if he had hit that shock blast, most likely.
Yeah, he has
or at
Ignite,
least
so...
out of Meals. Yeah, and he might just look for another one. He could just flash for it even. Really want to get tricky with it, but I mean, Starting's just been having a really good day. Very solid performance overall in the mid lane here, as top laners are also duking it out 1v1 there. I don't think that Zello gets the better of that one. Yeah, has to flash away. Hit level 2 after Chuck. Always a rough time to take those trades. Starting, that's Ignite, and barrier popped.
He can kill.
Oh, he flashes! Oh, nicely done for Meals. Knew exactly what Starting was trying.
Good patience coming out from Starting, and excellent mechanical response from Meals there to dodge out on that kill. And watch both of the junglers here. Tigers wants to try and find an answer here. Flash forward.
Flashes. He goes for it. One more auto. One more axe. Doesn't land. Meals gets out.
And Yikes is here. He wanted to go for an early invade here, trying to find an answer.
Direct land to T-Tigers. That's first blood picked up by Yikes. Auto's coming in from Meals. Starting has no mana. He can't get the so much with the auto. He has enough with an auto attack. Oh no, and now Zello's in trouble. Chuck gets the solo kill on the way down the river.
That was a really, really sick response coming out from Tribe. Multiple different moving pieces there. We saw that Yikes was going to try and steal a quadrant of the jungle away from T-Tigers, but they went so far in that Cloud9 were probably calling for a punish. We saw that Chuck then had a reset, came in, and was going to check the jungle to make sure that Yikes wasn't counter-jungling or stealing away any camps, but is able to then come in and then punish Zello for a roam. So small things they're interacting against Cloud9 that lead to Tribe getting a huge lead for themselves.
Already with the early gold lead, 2 minutes into the game. As now Cloud9, they're going to have to find some way to equalize that one. They don't want to let this series slip away from them off of a series of unfortunate plays in the early game that were so close to going their favor. I mean, if Meals just gets out and doesn't auto-trade there, that would have been great for them, but I might just die again. Starting level 5 here, yeah, a couple dead. Damage. Yeah, from behind the Raptors. I don't even know if T-Tiger's got an assist. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he probably does.
I think he just did the drive-by for fun.
Yeah, he just said, hey, what's up, bud? So the one thing I did want to back up here, right? I just said that they had a massive lead. It was only like 200 gold. Everybody in Twitch chat's like, whatever. But because there's now a summoner discrepancy in mid lane, until Meals has that barrier back, which he now has, that Ignite is always kill pressure. And if they really wanted to, what Tribe could do is then after they kill mid lane, after they push it out, they can just move to a side lane. Thankfully for Cloud9, you see a ton of red wards on this bottom lane. They are not trying to get ganked bot lane, but Stardy could always walk top lane and force Renekton to take a recall. So important that right now Starting is in control of the game.
And we know that Cloud9 have not been playing too much around Zello, but Tribe are willing to play around Chuck, especially on the Darius, especially when he's got a kill up over his lane opponent here. 800 gold advantage in the pocket and even going for another reset. Tribe with options, objective spawning, 15 seconds till they're both on the map.
Starting's really good at this champion. There's a reason why he just spams this in solo queue, and I'm glad he's bringing it out into comp as like a one, not like a one trick, but a really cool pocket pick. It used to be his Ziggs, but now it's transitioned away into this awesome. It's cool because remember during Summoner Series, Starting was known as like this melee assassin player, and now he gets to play best of both worlds.
Jace can do both. He can do it all. The range or the physical damage. As he just jumps in onto the dragon. Doesn't get the steal.
Look at Max Green.
But the rest of the follow-up. Max Green just running around all of Cloud9 here. Backline. Even the top laner can't do anything as Zello will fall in the 1v2 behind the dragon pit. Tribe, yeah, you give up the dragon, but you get everything else.
You know how ridiculous Rakan is that he was at Raptor Pit and then just made a huge dash. Oh, Starting, you messed that one up. You got a lot of content on this champion.
Okay.
Barrier goes down. Still is going to fall to his old team. Old school. I one's got to feel a little bad.
Do you think that one makes the YouTube highlight clip?
That one definitely 100% makes the YouTube highlight. He just had Max Green, Starting, and T-Tigers gank him. That's a fast clip.
Oh, Chuck in a 1v2, 1v3, but gets to turret. He's fine.
They lose this. I mean, Cloud9 don't have access to this unless Yikes can make a steal.
Oh,
some all punished.
Yeah, they get a little overeager in a location on the Rift that they did not have control over. That's what happens. Tribe will punish you for 9 times out of 10, and they'll also start up this Rift Arrow.
And Max Green now just has so much control alongside Starting. You could just see as this Rakan, how do you ever get away from him, especially when you're behind like this? Kaisa can't really deal with him very well. Selma's being taken out of this game permanently. And like Meals, we're still waiting for Meals to get back into lane from level 1.
Yeah, it's sad to put it that way, but I mean, I can't really think of like another analogy.
He also got removed from this game, just not as bad as like Selma's like on a 2nd place pedestal, and Meals is like, don't worry, bud, me too.
Me too. In terms of gold, down a full 1,600. About 1,500 to start. Go for this. I thought maybe he would actually try and hard commit, but doesn't have the flash of difficulty yet on top of the Orianna. But you just see how Meals has to play so far back. You cannot contest the waves. And at this point, talking about the engage options of Cloud9, it is difficult for them to find and engage an avenue to get on top of Tribe.
It's based on Zello and Yikes. It could be if Meals lands a nice shockwave, but the most consistent ones for me are going to be Renekton and Lee Sin going in, and you have Fallout from Old School and Selma, while Meals plays kind of like an auxiliary unit in this team composition. So Cloud9, like we kind of mentioned and like you're talking about just now, their engage options are incredibly limited. So now when you're behind, the tools to come back into the game are that much smaller.
Riftail drop mid here for Tribe. It looks like they're trying to make a play. Dragon's not up for a little bit, so it's just for the turret plates. And okay, they get a couple. Not too bad as 1v1 at the top lane. Chuck pulls
Zelo's
back.
dead.
Proto belts forward. Zello, Galio defensive ultimate. And by now, Chuck's out of there, and bottom turret's taken.
Lee Sin, they're going to try and dive this. Max Green's here.
Oh, no
Grand
way.
entrance?
No way. Max Green's actually going to turn this. They're actually going to win it. Yikes has joined in now.
Wait.
Zello's still alive. Chuck flashes to safety. Tribe do not lose a member.
Okay, it was all the crowd control there that saves Cloud9. If they hadn't been able to stun this Darius down, then he definitely dies, or Zello goes down and suddenly you have a resetting monster in the Darius. Darius is here.
Oh,
Yikes finds the kill.
Smooth. I like it. Quick movements, but can he get out? The smite to kill him. Zello in a 1v2 will die in the lane, and even starting to get some of the action. It looked cool at first, but Tribe are so quick to punish.
They stayed for way too long. Cloud9, they wanted the kills. They want to try and punish this, but Tribe come in, they answer it, and they're not even able to get any damage in the mid turret. They just take the mid wave, move down into the dragon lane. They're going to try and pull Tribe around where they can. Timer is very, very short here. Without Tribe starting the dragon here, it allows for Cloud9's members to recall and get back out onto the map here. Very dangerous position. Cloud9 could take this dragon.
Old School hasn't really been able to participate in any of these fights. Pretty behind right now. Doesn't even have an item completed. And you look at what Dienzio's gotten. Yeah, definitely ahead right now for this dragon. Yikes goes in though, finds Dienzio. Ultimate used from Dienzio. Has both summoner spells.
Goodbye.
In a very comfortable position as Yikes gets picked off.
Okay, so now Cloud9 can't do the dragon. They have lost that timer for a bit. Tribe will now just siege onto this mid turret. They need Orianna here if they want to try and wave clear this turret. Otherwise, this next wave means this turret's going down. Unless Chuck really wants this. I don't know about that.
Turret still has 37 health. Chuck very low.
Yeah.
The shock blast is enough. The Tigers is nearby.
Starting
on the flank. Old School in trouble. Has summoner spells. Doesn't use them. Gets out to safety without those. So, all right, Cloud9. Let's kind of find a couple more of those plays.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was less Cloud9's play and more Chuck. I don't know what Chuck was doing, honestly. I have no.
Hypnotize Chuck a couple more times. That's what Cloud9 needs to do. Yikes,
Okay,
hit
nice
those
touch.
sonic
Started.
waves. Hits the ultimate. Walking forward. One more sonic wave. He's
no,
not even
no
going to
shot.
get him. Oh, this is disaster. This is Cloud9 throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this play, and they are getting hard
Here's
punished
Tigers.
for it. They're way too far forward. Tigers has joined the fight on a rampage with a double kill. Chases down Cloud9, who now just die in the Herald Pit. Oh, Tribe Gaming. All right, you can't surrender, C9. You gotta play it out, even if it's painful.
Every time, that is the one thing I will never get over. Just seeing the refuse to surrender. We will not give up this game. You don't even get to see like who voted what. It's just, hey,
Never
we're
give
not
up.
out of this one yet. But
Never surrender.
I guess I'm feeling quite defeated just looking at this. It's 12K. It's 10.5 minutes. We're talking about that 18-3 game. Well, it's 17-3 at this point, Kangas. And
Yeah.
there are even less ways for them to win than they did last time when they had this happen.
Cloud9 gave it a valiant effort. Very strong performance in Game 1. And we got to watch all their games throughout the group stage as well. And they had some good performances across the board. But again, Tribe Gaming, man, something about them in North America is still nobody has been able to step up to the plate to compete. Old School flashes. Chuck does not land the Proto Belt in the right direction, so School is safe for now. Yikes, now trying to 1v1 Dienzio. Lands the Dragon's Rage. Sonic Wave forward. Dienzio in trouble here, taking a lot of damage
He's
to taunt.
dead.
And that's a pick.
And on the side lane at the same time, T-Tigers might have to just save that. That's a flash away. Selma, he's out too. Hero's entrance
made
out.
it!
Oh my. Okay.
Hero's
Fancy
exit,
feet. Good
baby.
plays.
Let's go. Oh, no. Just walking a wave, though. Old School Just trying to catch the wave. Just trying to farm some minions.
Old School died in the exact same spot that his mid laner did too. They dived that turret twice just now. They're like, okay, Max Green is starting. Good friends, good pals, making good on their promise.
History just repeats itself, Alk. Nothing's original. As under the turret now, the inhibitor turret, Tribe try and push for a kill. Don't get it. As now top lane. Yeah.
Oh, like, okay. The reason why I'm like overreacting there is because Lee Sin had like 40% HP after a full rotation of spells from starting, and it was one accelerated shock blast at like melee range. Dead. Okay, well, so Jace is strong. Starting is better.
Oh my god!
Look
Look
at
at this
HP
damage!
bar!
That is
surround
insane.
us.
That is absolutely insane. All right, how many people does it take to kill Started? They can't even get him. He flashes, double kill, sell bomb, Meals, shockwave used. Meals can't get him. Meals cannot do the damage. That's a triple kill. Give him the quadra kill. It's stolen. Dienzio gets it. Could have been a penta into Fight Night Rift, but Yikes won't even give them the opportunity to get the ace. Walking back to the fountain. On the Nexus, you will die. The ace for Tribe Gaming. They reign supreme in North America and will take the victory in Fight Night Rift.
And it's always game ones with Tribe where they're like, we're going to just try stuff out. It was versus enemy. Hey, we're going to try this one out. It was versus Cloud9. Same thing. Different kind of styles. Tribe Gaming, I mean, they're just so good, man. Why do they keep doing this, man? They keep stomping all the other teams in North America.
I'm telling you, they're even upgraded. I think Dienzio had an incredible performance throughout the entire day as well, especially in this series. Yeah, I mean, Tribe continue their reign. Like, what else can we say? We've said it so many times, and we're going to keep saying it until somebody steps up to challenge them. Now, yes, they have lost a series. I believe it was Immortals that took the series off of them, correct?
Yes.
In one of the other tournaments going on. So they're not infallible, but in best of fives, yeah, good luck against this team starting 10-0 and 6. My God.
You just can't give starting Jace. He's made too many YouTube clips. He's made too many Twitch montages. He's been on Twitch. He's been streaming very consistently, by the way. If you're a player, get to streaming, by the way, just so people can have your VODs open. Like, just look, he just 1v9 this game. I like, Dienzio will probably come in, be like, yeah, I was helping, but like, starting ended the game by being so powerful against Meals.
He's one of the earliest players to master the mechanics that are Jace. Like, Jace is not a very straightforward champion. You learn his kit pretty quickly, but understanding when to go in, when to play from range, when you have kill pressure on a lane, or in a 1v2-3 situation like at the end there. I mean, obviously that game he was just ridiculously fed, but still, I mean, I'm just impressed that Sardine has shown this level of dedication to a brand new champion, and I think that's another tool in his arsenal now. The team should be feeling pretty happy that they now have 5 bans in Wild Rift as opposed to 3. Let's take a look at that updated bracket here, Alk, because we're at the end of the day. Congratulations, GG to Tribe Gaming for taking not only the Holiday Fight Night Rift, but also the first of the 2022 year 3-1 over Cloud9.
Tribe Gaming still want to be kings of North America, and what's a better way to keep that going than stomping in the new year, right? Just bringing in another victory, get another $500 under your belt. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, it makes me excited as we go further on. What are you going to say, Kangas? What we got?
I was going to say, last time I thought they would spend it on holiday shopping, but now I'm wondering in the new year. Is it like gym equipment? I don't know. Maybe we can talk with them because we actually have one of the winning players. Bot laner Dienzio from Tribe Gaming here for our post-match winners interview. Dienzio, can you hear us? Congrats on the win, man. What you gonna do with the prize money? First off, I gotta know, is this like a New Year's resolution thing? Are you gonna like grab some dumbbells for the home gym?
Kangas, I don't have a home gym, but I do go work out. So literally after this interview, I'm gonna go drive to my gym.
Let's go.
And start working out. Yeah.
Kangas is the happiest camper right now, hearing gamers work out.
I'm very happy.
This is a first for him. Okay.
Gotta stay healthy.
Yeah, that's a good one. So Danzio, coming onto this team, you know, you have obviously a long history with a lot of the players here. What was it like coming onto Tribe and how that process went about?
You know, it felt kind of nice, to be honest, to be reunited with some of my former teammates and getting the chance to be able to play with Starting and Chuck. I think all these players are really amazing, and in the short time that I've been on Tribe, I've learned so much, and I think I'm just so happy to have gotten the opportunity to play on this team.
I mean, you've definitely made the most out of the opportunity, and it's a little awkward because in this finals you did have to play against Old School, who you replaced on the roster. Was there
Yeah.
any extra incentive for you to do well to be like, all right, I can't lose to the guy that I just replaced?
You know, I mean, I think I felt that way when I was playing in the Rift Masters, like that tournament when we ended up losing
Yeah.
to IMT or whatever, and we had to run through
Mhm.
all the teams. I think that during that weekend, I felt really like pressured to make sure I play good because, you know, Tribe, they're the best team. They beat everyone, and I feel like it was important for me to keep that going. And yeah, I'm glad to be able to do that.
So, I mean, you're talking about the Tribe brand, right? Not
Yep.
only here in Wild Rift, but also in general.
Yeah.
Personally, for you, like, what are your aspirations as a player, right? Because D'Anzio, we've seen you time and time again on NME take a lot of wins and be a fantastic player there. But what does it mean for you to be here in Tribe and now coming into year one? What is it that you want to leave your mark on here in North America?
I feel like, you know, for North America at least, I want to make sure that we take home every single title, just like they did last year. And I think globally, I want to make sure that Tribe has a better showing and that NA has a better showing at the first Wild Rift Worlds tournament.
I like it. Those are bold aspirations. Now, I do want to give one final thank you for coming on for the post-game interview. Congratulations for the win. One final statement from you. You have the podium. Any thank yous you want to give to anybody watching right now?
I would like to say a big shout out to all of our Tribe supporters who always root us in every single tournament, no matter whether we are winning or losing. And it's really good to see that you guys have our backs.
Awesome. Message for the
Wow.
fans. You love to hear it. Thank you, D'Anzio, for coming on, and best of luck celebrating tonight with the rest of the team.
All right. Peace out, guys.
Yep.
Awesome to hear, D'Anzio. Do you think he knows that we have a photo of him when he was like 14 that we might
Dude, he
float
liked
around
and
broadcast
retweeted
something?
that. He said
Oh,
that
he
was
did.
he already, and I got the follow back. So that was definitely, he knows that image exists.
All right.
That was
That'll be
the
fun for next
nicest
time.
D'Anzio interview I've heard. That guy usually is a mad trash talker, especially in the Discord. That guy, that was a wholesome interview. So shout out to him. The PR training at Tribe hit different.
Yeah, now he's wearing the red jersey. You know, he's got a higher level he's got to reach. Thank you, though, everybody, for tuning in to watch the stream. We wouldn't do this if it weren't for the community of people that tune in. Thank you, Alk, for being my incredible co-caster. Everybody behind the scenes in production. There's a whole list of folks in the Discord right now that all work to make things happen. And most importantly, thank you to all the players for showing up. If you want to compete at Fight Night Rift, don't forget to sign up on the website or more easily in Twitch chat, ! Sign up right now. We got another event coming up in 2 weeks, and we'll see you there.